idea how late I used to be. 11 minutes is an improvement. Okay. Progress, not perfection. Welcome, everyone. Hi. Now they can see us. Welcome,
what's up, everyone?
What's up? Let's no Twitter files, no big Disney news. We're just going to talk about Randall mainly tonight. Graham, Ancient Apocalypse, mostly Atlantis. We're going to talk about a series of live streams Randall did on Cosmographia a year ago, maybe more. I think it was during COVID, where it's like 12 hours. It's not hard to get through, but it takes a while. About Atlantis and him like scientifically breaking down where Plato says it was.
Yeah.
Like
it was only 6 hours. What you sent me. So am I missing?
That was the condensed version behind the paywall on HowTube, which I recommend everybody pay for. Like it's totally worth the $30.
Okay.
You get both episodes.
All right.
I think it's less than $30.
It might be less.
Yeah, I think it was like 18 or something.
No, it's 18 per episode, I think.
Okay, per episode.
Totally worth it.
Dude, it was fascinating.
Yeah,
I didn't even get through the whole thing of how long was that when you sent? It was like
the first one was 2 hours, the second one was 4 hours and like
I didn't get through the whole
30
thing,
minutes.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I watched it all.
So Randall's like cool. at a podium on the first one, and the second one, I guess it was again during COVID, so he just did it from his house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. It's great. It's good.
They need to Netflix contact Randall Carlson and do a companion show.
Yes,
that would be fantastic. Because like he's got so much great information, but he dispenses it in such a like boomery way that it's kind of hard. Like like with his PowerPoints and stuff. Like it would be great if somebody could like produce a show around that and really give him the graphics like in the Ancient Apocalypse. Like that would be great to be able to see that.
He has a special based on some of his work from the early 2000s called Fire from the Sky.
That sounds like it's boomered also.
I like the name.
It's good.
Sounds
no,
cool.
it's well produced.
Okay.
He's barely in it, so that's why it's not boomer. But they took his
but you need that Randall, he's got that voice. You need to hear him like narrating it.
You just got to be prepared to like, oh, okay, I got to look this up. Kind of like me,
Yeah. Garrett, tell me at least you got to the part in the second episode, the longer one where well, actually, it was in the first episode also. He brought on this younger guy, and he's like, so this is this editor dude, and he makes these totally serious, very important, serious music edits of my show. And then, of course, you play it, and it's like this ridiculous, I don't know. It's like they took clips of Randall, and he made some sort of like
I didn't get that far.
Bad techno beat. Oh, man.
Awesome. You didn't get that far. It was pretty funny.
The first one was good, but the one that they play multiple times in the second version, in the second episode, he's talking about Solon. It's you know what I'm talking about, Nerdrotic? Yeah, it's good.
Oh yeah,
I haven't gotten to the best part, I guess.
Oh, Solon. Oh,
but like it's so out of place with a Randall dialogue, which is exactly sleep to. It's just like this guy talking to you really quietly, and all of a sudden some bad techno comes on. You're like, what the fuck?
What is happening?
Solon.
I almost want to find it so we can play it.
I don't know.
Should I? I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. I'm gonna do it.
The one that I did watch though, like it's so fascinating because how he like lays it out. The first part, he goes into why currently science and everybody in geologists all believe that it doesn't exist. And then he explains that, well, this is a very specific, from the science perspective of why it doesn't exist. Somebody wrote an article a scientist wrote an article in the 60s and said, yeah, it's not over here because it's impossible. It's impossible because of the geology is settled. Yeah. She wasn't a geologist. She didn't confirm it with geology like papers or scientific papers on where it would be. She just said, well, it's settled. And then they moved on. And then I guess all of academia just took that at face value and said, yeah, well, it's all gone.
How much of history has that happened to as well?
Exactly.
So much.
That's what this whole thing has really got me thinking, because one of the main things I've learned in the past 2 years is history is written by the victors, right? And looking at how news and mainstream media reports on so many different things,
Yeah.
I see something of this, and Randall's like all these, and Graham actually, both of them are, Graham was written off as a pseudoscientist, a pseudo whatever, and he's like, I'm not even any of these things. I'm a journalist, and I'm showing this information, and it's showing me this, and everyone's denying it, but nothing that they claim makes any sense when you look at this information. So with Randall talking about Atlantis and what you just pointed out, they were just like, oh, can't happen.
Yeah.
Nope. No. I mean, it's under the sea, so it makes no sense. And then Randall's like, yeah, but here's all this information. What do you got?
Yeah.
It's none of these experts are coming out and being like, well, let me refute that. Let me explain why
here's
it's not
the data
right.
on why. They just go, oh, well, that's hooey. You're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. It's like, well, but okay, well, he's going through all of these mythical stories along with like people that you take seriously for being historians, like Plato, right? You take him seriously in certain areas, but not in this area. Why is that? And then he goes not just in like the mythical and in the historical sense, he then goes into the geology of why it could be possible of like where the location could be. It could be right where Plato said in the Atlantic. And then then they just go, well, no, he's a pseudoscientist, he's a pseudo geologist, he's crazy. Offhandedly throw it away. Like it really, that the first part really kind of blew my mind because it makes you think about so many other situations where there's one science paper in 1964 that somebody wrote and said, yeah, well, the science is settled because the geologists say, yeah, but they don't provide any information on the actual geologists saying that it's not in those locations. I'm like, what are the other things that we are not that we are not investigating because the science was settled 60, 70 years ago?
So much. I remember seeing headlines in the 80s, in the 90s, in the early 2000s, like, has science figured it all out? What's next for science? And it's like,
come on,
monkeys, you know nothing. So yes, you're right. They basically said it couldn't have happened, so we're not going to bother looking. That's their summation. And Randall's all, well, actually, people have looked, and we found some pretty interesting things. Like, did you know that down on the Azores, there's these flat plateaus that could have been islands, by the way, and they did some dredging on top of them. Did you hear this part where they found the beach sand?
Yep.
Beach sand that's a mile down that is 12,000 years old.
More than a mile. There's
happen?
some places where it's almost 2 miles down. In the beach sand, and also creatures and fossils and stuff that they found of beach dwelling animals that wouldn't make their way down a mile or more down. So like that doesn't make any sense. Why are they down there?
They had a name for it. The animals that can, like, within 100 feet of the surface.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
That's the only place they can exist. And they found a bunch of those because, well, maybe those islands were a bit higher. And the fact that and continental crust, they got really hung up on it being called a continent. And Randall breaks down that that's one of the interpretations. It was most likely an island. Atlantis was an island empire with multiple islands that was right where it was supposed to be, where the Azores are right now, which is where the Marianas, not the Marianas Trench, but why do I keep
the two crusts come together?
The European plate, the African plate, and then the North American plate
all meet right at the Azores. And then like he goes deeper into this on his other live streams. He shows where the sides of the islands collapsed, like they would flank, like islands do this sometimes. A flank will collapse off, right, and be like this massive. As a matter of fact, it's a Canary Island. I think it's not an Azore. It's a Canary. There's one that could happen to, that they've talked about, that would be a massive tsunami on the East Coast if this flank breaks off. But he shows you the debris. You can see the debris, and it goes out for miles.
Yeah, they actually showed that in the second episode. Yeah, and it goes out for a long way. And what could have caused that?
Tsunami.
A massive rush of water.
Yep. From what, I wonder? But he gets into, it's called Eustacy or Istacy. I can't remember the word.
For what?
So when the cataclysm happened,
Right.
now this cataclysm, they're starting to believe it happened over a period of a few years, 20 years. It was incredibly strong at first, kind of tapered out, then had a kind of a big ending, and that was it. And again, this is just a theory, but a lot of these, it was like meteor fragments or comet fragments hit the American ice plate and essentially melted it over time, but like in a couple aspects of it, really fast, really fast, like within a day, it all melted. Like a big chunk of it melted. Sea level went up, and the problem is that's weight on the ground. That's weight on the crust. So that's 2 miles of ice. That's tons of weight. So when that weight comes up, the crust goes up.
Oh, the isostatic.
But there's
displacement. I don't know. That's what it seems like it would be, but so I don't remember the exact term.
Ground goes up, other ground needs to go down to make up for it. That's essentially what he says.
Well, think about it like you think about it in your bathtub. You got a plate, you got 2 plates, you can push them on one side and the other side goes up, other side goes down. It's just like that. It's just on a massive scale.
And he talks about it in those 20 years that you were saying, that it almost was like the Earth
depression.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Isostatic depression. So where the Earth almost was like breathing, right? And where would the closest place of where it could move the most? And it's where those 3 plates meet, which is exactly where the Azores are. So of course, that's the closest place where it can adjust the easiest when all that weight is being lifted. And he was talking like, I don't remember. He had a number as well for the amount of ice that was on the North American plate, and it's
water's heavy, guys. If you don't know,
what I found interesting is that Graham Handcock talks about 400 feet, right? The water raised 400 feet, and you think about that, right? It's not just the fact that this isostatic depression was doing this with the land. It was also all that water went to the Atlantic, or most of the water. That's what Randall says in this. He says most of this water went to the Atlantic Ocean. So not only did the water raise, I just heard myself again, but all the weight of that water was added to, like, the weight that was pushing this land down, it got taken off. So then you got this action, right? But then all that weight went onto this. So I think that's what explains the extra, if it's a mile down, all those creatures, all the beach sand was a mile down. How does it make sense for the only 400 feet? What's a mile? Like 5,600 feet or something? I don't remember exactly. Something like that. It's like, well, yeah, because all of that weight, because he was saying the Earth was like breathing, right? So the corners of the North, or the European plate, the African plate, it was malleable at that time. It was already shifting. So all the extra weight, it was like, all right, we'll sink another mile down, like whatever.
And who did he get the information from? Like, who did Plato get the information from? The Egyptians, ultimately, right? And they're right there at the top of Africa.
Solon got it from the Egyptians, which was his great grandfather, or was it his grandfather?
It was.
I think it was his family lineage.
So he got it from people that were on the edge of Africa that would possibly know about stuff like that if they have records back. And in the story, that was the fascinating thing, because I've never actually heard the Solon story. And the way that they kind of explain it to Solon is like, hey, your society, this has happened a bunch of times. You don't remember because of these catastrophes that have wiped all of your records out. Like they're very specific the way they say it. They're like, you had records and they all got wiped out, and that's why you don't remember. But we have some records, and we know that these things happened, and there used to be an island nation over there, and now it's gone because of a massive flood that they say, like Randall and Graham have said, like it happened overnight. They said basically overnight that whole civilization was gone. And you don't remember it because that has happened multiple times before that. It's like,
Well,
it's so cool because it matches up to the timelines, to the geology of it. Yeah. And it blows my mind that we don't look further into this stuff and we just kind of write it off handedly. It's like, there's interesting things in the myths, in these, and what it should be considered history, because you consider Plato's other writings as history. So why not this?
Because it seems too ridiculous for the academics who have built their entire narrative on a foundation of sand, as Graham says. And now that this is you guys sent the out of place artifact, which I'll do a whole show on those.
Crazy.
Those are awesome.
Those are really cool.
I looked into it. I think it's actually a fossil.
Is it? You think there's some kind of like organic?
There's some that are shit, and there's some that are like truly unexplainable. I would say about 10% of them are truly.
It didn't look like a screw to me, but it did look not natural.
No, but
like a natural form.
There is the one where the thing looks like a spark plug. That one's weird.
Yeah,
that one's really weird. And there's other things they found. I got a theory on that, by the way. So, the Earth, for one, the crust. You know what the crust does? Eventually, over time, it all goes down. It's moving. It's constantly moving. So over millions of years, our like 12,000 years ago, our planet doesn't look anything like it did 12,000 years ago. It doesn't look anything like it did a million years ago. Like, it's crazy. So they track Yellowstone. I didn't even know this till I after I was watching Randall, they popped up some geologist from Washington, and what he did is he tracks Yellowstone across the Western United States. Like, it started in he started his. It started actually in the ocean, but it like moved its way up through California and Nevada. Then it's currently it's a hot spot that the crust is just going over, right?
Oh,
and so there's tons of eruptions that you see. You see all the eruptions from it's crazy. That's cool. So there's a little hot spot, and that's what Yellowstone is. That's what super volcanoes are. At least this one is.
Wow.
But like the shit looks, we have no idea. So a lot of it is based on guessing, but when you're suppressing evidence to protect your theory, you cease to be a scientist. You cease to be an archaeologist.
When I hear the words, the science is settled from a scientist. Sus. That's sus.
Yeah. Red flag, bullshit detector going off.
Yeah. So they say Atlantis. Somebody just asked where Atlantis. Azores.
Where Atlantis?
Where Atlantis?
I'm gonna bring up Google Earth.
When are we going to the Azores? When are we going?
Dude, we need to go. For one, they look amazing. Like, I kind of want to go there. That looks pretty...
No, for research. You gotta go for research purposes.
Well, if this show takes off, we are going to be traveling like mofos. So
I like that. Yes. We gotta explore Egypt too.
Oh hell dude, yes!
That's almost. I think that's first thing. I think that's kind of the first thing.
Totally okay with that.
It's like cheap to go there, and it's safe.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, cheap relatively, but
because they want tourists to go there. So
it has all three of us. We can bring our significant others to Egypt, and it would be half as much as going to the Galactic Star Cruiser at Disney World,
and a hell of a lot more fun.
All right, so
I'll do a Bigfoot stakeout, Grifter.
Oh, dude, I will totally do that.
I've done a Bigfoot stakeout, and it was a big nothing burger, but I was in Bigfoot country. I mean, it was like weird. It's it's not.
I don't know if that.
It is not fun being in the middle of the fucking woods with no lights, sitting there doing nothing. And I did Area 51. I climbed up that mountain. I saw it in binoculars, and it was miserable. It was cold. It was a long fucking hike.
So here are the Azores.
Okay,
right here.
That was a long time ago. That's when it was dangerous to go there. Like, if you get you thought you could get shot. I don't know if I had that in my head the whole time. So there are the Azores. They're the Pillars of Hercules over there to the right.
Where are the pillars?
Rock of Gibraltar. You see where Gibraltar is right there on the right.
Oh, I see. Over here.
It's the
south
entrance,
of Spain. Yeah,
the entrance into the Mediterranean. Right. So that is your Pillars of Hercules. And yeah, so that's a plateau, by the way. Look at
You see this? You see how this kind of
you can see the 3 plates actually pretty easily.
Now think about this logically. If the crust can move and the continents, because they do believe that all the continents were one big continent at one point and they moved, separated, right? If they could separate, pop certain areas up, then certain areas can go down. And imagine if they weren't just down, they were crushed by other continents. Like the plates could crush the other one and just wipe it out of existence. You'd never know it was there because both the crusts merged and crushed it.
Yeah. And
also we've only explored like 0.5. What was it that in the number in the
of the oceans?
Like 0.5% of the Atlantic Ocean has been actually seen. So
we have no idea. They talked about a fishing, not a fishing vessel, a vessel called the Atlantis, by the way, that did some dredging, and they did find continental crust. They did. So it's unusual. I mean, it's I guess it's possible, but it's what part of the reason is because what the Azores were what Africa left behind. So Africa moved, and that's what it was. So on the African plate side, that's what Africa left behind. If you go to Ethiopia,
you see a lot of them. Like there's a whole.
Oh yeah. And imagine how much land that was with 400 feet less ocean.
A mile less, because you got to remember
much all of this could be.
It wasn't just 400 feet in the Atlantic. It was there. That beach sand is a mile down.
That's crazy.
So all of the Azores went down at least 5,000 feet.
It's crazy. So this mountain must have been huge. So in Ethiopia, you don't have to go there, but in Ethiopia, I forgot what it's called. There's this big volcanic, what do they call it again? It's basically where the crust is splitting apart, and it's going to become an ocean. There's whole specials on it, and it's this. And I was dicking around one day, and I was like looking for the most volcanic place on Earth, and that's kind of one of them. And it's filled with just like. You just would die if you went there. People go there though. And it's this huge stretch of land in Ethiopia where the crust is just getting torn apart. And there's a name for it. Great Rift. It's like a Great Rift. Yes.
That makes me think about this position here,
Valley.
Right?
Yeah.
If this, all the land masses were one, right? Pangea, right? Isn't that what it was called? So and then it was slowly splitting apart. So that means where this split, I mean, you could see it, the split. I mean, is that the Mariana Trench that you can see right there? I don't know.
I think if that's somewhere else, but
or is that,
is
that in the Pacific?
Yeah.
Anyway, so the crust is being created, right? As it comes out and is pushing away from each other. So would it be feasible that when all of this went down 12,600 years ago, all that 20-year span, or it happened in a day, it happened in 20 days, however long it happened, the Younger Dryas, it hits, all that water rushes into the Atlantic. It doesn't just sink the land back down. It actually, instead of it coming out of the mantle to create new land, it just gets pushed right back in. You know what I mean? Like it actually would absorb it and then start over. I don't know. It's just gone, the land that was there.
Right. I kind of would go to this valley. What's it called?
Yeah, what is the Mid-Atlantic Ridge? Thank you. Yeah,
Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Yeah,
the Mariana Trench is in the Pacific.
There's an article from 2013 that says a new crack discovered in the ocean floor could pull North America and Europe together and cause the Atlantic Ocean to vanish in only 220 million years.
Oh man. Wow.
Yeah. So
we better do something about that.
What Randall talks about a lot is gradualism, which is kind of what geology. I mean, like a lot of it is true. A lot of things just happen gradually over millions of years. But what they really try to steer clear from is any kind of cataclysm. And the reason they try to steer clear of that is because it might confirm a thing or two. I mean, it's as simple as this. They'll say it's more complex, but it really isn't. They want to keep away from the Bible. And
Right.
I think it's so you've
But it's not just the Bible, it's like every mythology ever.
I know, but like
That's true.
they don't want anything. They don't want anything to do, because that's where again, Randall and Graham both talk about this. Geology is relatively new. It's not like thousands of years old. Okay, it was a hobby, largely done by either academics or preachers or in America anyway, and it, guys used to just walk around and look at it, because there was no internet. Okay. So people used to do that. And it used to be really good. That Brett's guy, Harlan Bretts, is the guy who like originally came up with the flood theory for Washington and the Scablands and stuff. But yeah, they just don't want to confirm anything cataclysmic, because that would confirm the deluge, which, I mean, does anybody doubt that happened at this point? I mean, every culture has a story of it. And this
Planet wide.
Yeah,
planet wide. And there's tons of evidence. I mean, just, especially if you drive around the western part of the United States, it definitely it's always looked like okay, was that wind erosion that created all that, or water? Like
right.
You could tell the difference, but it's definitely water up in the north. It is definitely water. It's like, it is plain as day. And when you see it, I've seen Dry Falls. I've seen the Scablands. I was very young, but I was like, what? It looked like an alien world. It was like, what the fuck? And I guess most people just go about their day, not wondering where all those boulders came from. When I was a kid, I was like, where did those fucking come from? They had to come from somewhere. And
now this has no scientific, backing, but just look at this. It's kind of interesting. The way all of this kind of flows down.
Yeah.
And it gets stopped by mountains.
Zoom in on it.
Mountains here.
Zoom in on it. What does that look like to you?
Look at this whole, like all of this all up here. It all flows down.
Yeah.
In this huge area. It's
true.
just kind of interesting,
It looks like a bunch of water melted, just eroded part of the western United States. That's what it looks like.
And completely flattened the eastern, because as Randall says, like most of the water went to the Atlantic, which would have just completely just pulled land into the Atlantic Ocean. So it's not just the water that was added to the Atlantic, it was everything that it pulled with it.
Yeah.
And geologists know like where the boundary was for the ice. There's tells, so like they Randall always puts up that. It's insane to think about. It was just 12,000 years ago. That wasn't long ago in the great scheme of things.
Right.
I mean, we're still digging up fucking dinosaurs from a millions of years ago, but then Clovis people wiped off the map. Can't find them. Now I talked to WG in my member stream today, and he says he knows somebody within the sphere of Randall, and they went out. They've gone on digs. WG's a man. Oh no, he's already gonna hook us up or try anyway.
Yeah.
WG.
Yeah.
You're the man.
WG.
WG's a man. WG's a man.
It's a capital G, by the way.
He says that they have found that. Well, okay, they haven't found a Clovis person, but they think they know where they're buried, but they're not allowed to dig them up. So to me, that's still, you haven't found one. You think you found one, but you haven't found one. But yeah, that's one of the biggest problems is in America now. It is almost impossible to dig up bones. There he is. What's up? You're a nerd too, dude. But yeah, it's almost impossible. And like that's another dogma of science. It's like, okay, well, yeah, we don't want to desecrate any graves, but like, I don't know, we could dig a small hole, get one piece of bone,
gently
put it right back where we found it, just to find out about the Clovis people. It'd be kind of
and then you see like the guys in Egypt, they're just like, oh look, we found another coffin, let's open it right here with no masks on,
just
no like not in like a lab or anything, just opening it like, oh look, yeah, cool. Wow.
And then you go to South America where there's just thousands of grave sites and caves, and they're just like, yeah, they're
everywhere. Any plagues in Egypt, like no plagues in Egypt at all. This was like, let's open up the one plague coffin,
Right.
see what happens.
Genius.
I saw an image of they found this set of bones, and it was like an abnormally tall woman, like a 6 foot something priestess,
Amazon
with the very first glass eye, and it was painted gold with like some gold inlay or whatever.
Oh, that's awesome.
And someone's like, "Dear God, for the love of everything good, don't remove the eye from the Egyptian mummy with the abnormally large priestess woman. Don't remove the golden eye." It's like, she's got a good point. It's got a good point.
It's just not chance
it.
Right. Yeah, if I was gonna get a fake eye, I wouldn't have it look normal.
Yeah, it's gonna look cool.
I'd do a sapphire, or something like
I want it bionic. I don't care if it actually connects, but I want people to think that like I could zoom in with like a telephoto lens,
like a little LED in there,
like it actually telephotos out of my eye.
You got
a Mad Eye Moody eye, just kind of,
or like a gun barrel that just comes out.
Yeah.
Like, does that guy got a gun in his brain? Yes.
Yeah. It's fully loaded,
and I'm looking at you.
Yeah. But as far as just when I first saw Randall's live streams, I'm like, oh God, how is he going to prove it? And like, all right, I'll listen. I'll be skeptical. I've always felt like Atlantis was just like a mother civilization that got tied into the flood theory and it just kind of died out or whatever. So I've always thought there was something there. I've always thought that history was older than they say it is, just because I think there's tons of evidence. We can't date stone, and it's clear as day, especially when you get to South America and Bolivia and stuff, and you see, those pillow-shaped polygonal stones, and then there's like shittier ones on top.
Yeah,
and you see that we've digressed. Massive fucking stones that are earthquake proof. Dude, the one on top,
you can't fit a hair in between the joining areas because they're so finely cut and put together. It's like
that big wall in Peru,
and then it's just rocks on top,
right? Where they have the Sims in the middle. Like, how the fuck did they do that? Like, and they had to like put it up a mountain, put it up an entire mountain.
And the same kind of cuts are found all around the world.
Yeah.
I just thought of something really interesting. You were talking about what you thought of Atlantis before, and I've talked about Atlantis befyore. Everyone points at the Rickart structure in East or West Africa, right? And I just thought of something very interesting. So isostatic depression, right? If you think about, I've only been looking at the North America plate where the land rose after all of that ice was gone, right? So if you think about it, it was 3 plates that was being pushed down, in some places more than a mile down, more than 400 feet that's just the seawater all over the place. But if that isostatic depression was changing, and do you have Google Earth still up right now? So if all of 3 of those plates were being affected with all of that weight of the water and the land that was being rushed out and being pushed down, now look at the distance from that tri-point where the Azores are to like North America, right? It's a good 4,000 miles easy, right? Now look how far the Azores are to the Rickart structure. And a lot of people were claiming that there's a lot of water that rushed away from Africa, and that the Rickart structure could have been underwater. So who's to say that maybe that isostatic depression, when it pushed the Azores down, lifted up Africa, lifted the Rickart structure out of what would have been like they claimed it, those rings. It was very similar to what actually Randall has a really cool portrayal of what Atlantis would have looked like with the rings. And then there was like a channel to go to the center where the temple was. I wonder if I could find that. But that's interesting. I don't know. I just thought about that. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I know that it's like here in the Western United States. Well, here, I'm not there anymore. I'm in Texas. In the Western United States, it's still happening. Like the from Lake Bonneville, which is this giant lake that used to be kind of like where Salt Lake is, but Salt Lake is like a little piece of it. And in Hudson Bay, the ground is still recoiling from, so Lake Bonneville, the water's gone, but the ground is still to this day recoiling up, and you can see it. You can drive around the west and you'll see is rocks that used to be flat, like a bed of rocks, we'll say, on a mountain that's crooked. You'll see it all over the place. That started out flat. Yeah, it's so that it's still happening very slowly. And then Randall shows a picture of Hudson Bay, where the with
the shorelines.
The shorelines.
Yeah,
the little shorelines, and you can see shorelines when you're driving around. If you're in the right place in Montana or whatever, you can see shorelines on the top of the fucking mountains. It's crazy. Yeah, Spain. Yes, Spain is happening too. Actually, Game of Thrones filmed right next to one for Dragonstone in season 8. Robert McCallum, James Knoll for $20. Can we talk about how lame those folks are in Ohio for not letting Graham film?
Lame.
Totally fucking lame.
The science is settled, Graham. All right,
settled. Even though, okay, so the story on that is Serpent Mound. They're saying it was put together by a certain tribe, even though that certain tribe says, "Hey, we're happy to protect it and be the tribe to protect it." We had nothing to fucking do with it.
So like we found it like this.
We found it like this.
But then they came along and told that tribe, no, the science is settled.
Did it.
Yeah, the science is settled.
You did it.
You silly savage. It's like that's academia right there for you. And like they're pissed. They're going after Graham for the special and Netflix. And like kind of like we knew they would, right?
White supremacy. I can't believe I actually read that. That's serious, by the way, people.
It is.
They're actually claiming it's white supremacy. I hope you've watched it by now. It's been out for a month. It's very worth watching.
It's the best thing on Netflix by far.
Very good.
And that would have been the dumbest headline if I hadn't read that Shark Week is racist and there's an overrepresentation of mics.
Too many mics.
Too many mics.
We're gonna talk about that tomorrow, Garrett.
You guys need to talk about that because that is
we are
stupid shit. Oh my god. But yeah, like those for one. So that's what happened in Ohio. I was like, dude, to say no to Netflix, for a place to say no to Netflix, that like, and it, people would have flooded to Serpent Mound. They're still gonna.
Yeah,
but they're going to see the impact of this. They're going to get a bunch of people talking about Graham stuff anyway. So they fucked themselves. They could have just let them in, but now they're going to get a bunch of people like us going, that sign up there means nothing.
I think Graham posted, I think that documentary hit top 5 or maybe even top 1 for a week or two.
It hit number 1.
It did hit number 1. Okay, I thought so. Awesome.
So good for Graham, and I think easily gets a season 2. And I totally agree with you. I think they should do a spin-off with Randall. And what I am dying for it, because Randall, I know you're watching, buddy. We love you.
Hey,
come on the show.
You're based as fuck. No,
please, come on.
No, some people. Well, I don't know if I should say this. I'll say it anyway. I
love it.
A couple of people who I think involved in the tours that he does contacted me about coming on their show, which I'm going to do. Absolutely. And then we'll get them on this show. But people watch, by the way. I want to see a graphic of the Cataclysm. I want to see a freaking graphic. I visualize it in my head, but I haven't seen a true, even a picture of visualization, like how everything melted. Like, show me the water melting, show me where it goes, show me where the comet hit. Like, even where you think it doesn't have to be, obviously it doesn't have to be perfect, but I think that's a
model. We need a visual model of what happens. So like when you say it, it's very like, whoa, trying to imagine that much water moving at such a speed. Like, it would be great to be able to visualize that and have like a definitive, this is what we know of right now, given the geology and our science so far.
It is interesting to see what Randall does, though, with the imagery that he does show. because going back and showing a lot of these ancient artists that with this art that's been around for a thousand years, maybe not so old, but it shows a lot of these biblical scenes with huge asteroids in the background. And he's like, what else could this represent? This is a story of, what's that name? Not Icarus.
No.
What's the Greek? I feel like Gary might know this. There's a Greek painting about a guy that Zeus strikes down because he's trying to. I don't recall. I don't remember. It was this somewhere in the middle of the 6 hour.
I'm trying to remember the name.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is.
Is it the
It's the story of the son that wants to prove to his friends, I guess, that he is
the one who
that he's a demigod.
The god's chariot.
The chariot.
Yeah.
It's
is it Icarus? No, I didn't.
It's not.
It's not Prometheus.
It's not Prometheus either. It is
No.
story. Oh my God, Phalon.
Phalon. I could hear Randall saying it.
Phalon.
I mean, it's very similar to Icarus. Okay, you can say one probably came from the other.
But there's plenty of different versions of this artwork that he shows that has. Is it Phaeton with a T?
Phaeton. Thank you.
Phaeton. All right. And in all of these different images, it shows him being struck down by something from the sky. And then in one of them in particular, there's an actual comet in the sky, a large comet in the sky, and it's taking up a fairly large chunk of the imagery. It's like, well, what does that mean? Obviously, something came from the sky.
Oh, let's see if I can find it.
The whole story is about cataclysm.
Right.
He goes up there and he wants to run this chariot, run the sun across the sky. He gets out of hand. So then he causes all of this cataclysm across the land on his way down. And then he strikes him out of the sky and then he falls to earth. And it's like, what could this be telling us?
And his hair is on fire.
His hair is on fire. It's like, what could this be saying?
What do these scientists call a cataclysmic event if they can't touch a cataclysmic event because it's too religious or some whatever the hell they need to say? What would happen if a cataclysm did happen? What would they call it? Would they be afraid to touch it? If they can actually prove that this happened?
Here is the painting that
the ones they've acknowledged are volcanoes, right? That's there's genetic bottleneck, and the genetic bottleneck might have been debunked.
Yeah. Here's one of them.
The painting that Randall brings up.
This is one of them, and he was talking about how it also is the timing of when, because it was at the end of the age of Leo, or no, before the end of Leo. It was in the middle of
during Leo,
in the 26,000 year cycle, right in the middle of 2/3 of the way through the age of Leo is when this happened, and that's what he's saying.
What is that?
The lion is showing, and then that moment where the circle is when it happened, and then of course you see him being struck down there with his chariot on the left.
There's a snake again.
There's the serpent.
There's that serpent.
God, I found something on Google Earth, and I can't share my screen. This sucks. I'm on my Mozilla.
Send me the link. I'll do it.
I'm gonna send you the link, and hopefully it gets you there, and hopefully you can see. Because all right, uncomfortable truths. I'm here to tell, and I spend a crazy amount of time just fucking around on Google Earth. Just to let you know, when I'm bored, I'll be on it for 2 hours just looking at shit in the desert, looking for old cities and stuff. It's like an old man hobby, and I'm very proud of it.
There's a website that I used to check out all the time, and I'm gonna try to find it. It's to help poachers and grave robbers. It's to help against them, to find ancient sites. And what they do is they'll show you a picture, and and it's just like out in the wilderness somewhere, and you say, I think I see an ancient site on here that you should go check it out. And if enough people see that and say that, they'll actually go and try to see if it's an ancient site that it's worth protecting.
Wow.
Man, I don't remember what the name of that site was, but I feel
All
like
right,
you'd love that.
Is this it?
That's it. So I'm not saying this is anything other than just weird. Okay. So
Okay,
this is where Phaeton like supposedly crashed. And if you look at that mountain range, whatever the fuck this is in the middle, it looks like a profile of a dude with flaming
Definitely
hair.
does.
Yeah, looks like a dude with flaming hair. If you go back a little bit, Garrett, you can see his flaming hair in the back. I'm like, that's weird, because that's right around where they said like he hit the earth.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's weird. But if you go back out, look at how, I mean, fucked up the desert is. But what I've done, you don't have to do it. If you go down,
Yo, Chad, what's up?
In southern Egypt, and you go to Libya, where there's tons of like volcanoes in the south there, and there's also impacts. There's also a bunch of little impacts, like meteor impacts, that you see, and it's trying to decipher the difference between the two. And there's lots of them all over the desert. And something happened in Egypt between, well, there was it was the Middle Kingdom, where records stopped being kept. They just stopped keeping records, like something. So they think it was a cataclysm of some kind. But yeah, this whole desert, for one, it's only been a desert for 5,000 years.
Right. Like, what is the sand covering? What's under here?
We have, that's what Graham brings up. Like, we have not, studied the ocean properly, and we have no fucking idea what's below the sand of the Sahara. And they've already found this lost like trading post, this where people would go and trade. It was a merchant city. They found it under the sand.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And then you've also got South America, also not really explored. There's a lot of our Earth that is not explored and that we don't know really kind of anything about.
Well,
that we publicly know about.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We could do a show on that, the Smithsonian.
Mm-hmm.
We can get really weird on that one, because I like the whole giant thing. I don't know if I believe it yet or not, but I like watching stuff on it. A lot of the people who cover it, though, I mean, dude, I must be tired. Oh, what's his name?
I believe in you, Gary.
I listen to the guy all the time. Fuck. Now I gotta look it up.
Clearly not.
No, you're still young, Adam. Wait till you hit like post 40.
I'm pushing 40, man. I'm almost there.
Post 40, just like your kids' names will slip your mind for a minute, and you're like, fuck.
I'm already there.
Yeah,
I got to get the kids first, but shit.
Jim Vieira. I didn't have to look it up. Jim Vieira is him and his brother did that. Thank you. Did that show in Search for Lost Giants, and L.A. Marzulli comes at it from a very Christian perspective. But they're like, and Forrest does some stuff.
Is that the giant humans that we used to be like a lot taller?
Like, 8-9 feet.
Right. Okay.
Feet. I don't know about 36 and all that crazy shit, but I mean, like, 8, 9, 10 feet. And there is tons of records of South American tribes that were 8 feet tall. And yeah, they're just gone now. And they, a lot of the mounds that, we had millions and millions of mounds here in America, millions.
Crigler mounds.
Yeah, that's right.
Andreas, thank you for finding. I don't know if he's watching right now, but for those who don't know, Andreas Exertus sent me this Wikipedia article about the Crigler mounds, and there's 5 mounds in a straight line, and they're 500 feet apart from each other or something. So it's not like a close thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of the mounds is really small, like maybe 10 feet. And then the biggest one's like 500 feet or some shit.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. I thought that was really dope. Kriglers are everywhere. Clovis Crigler.
It's crazy the things that we did as humans. Like in the past, why did we build these mounds? Like were they like
underneath
burial things? Like some of the mounds that you find, they have chambers that we haven't investigated. it's so fascinating to me what we've done in the past and the things that we don't know that we did.
Maybe they were
Yeah.
bases of pyramids. When the Younger Dryas hit and all that water pulled
Unfinished
everything
possibly.
out into the Atlantic, maybe it was, just a solid base that got completely decimated, but still left residual mounds there. I don't know. Who knows?
Is the
find it very hard
consensus
to
that we
believe that
just piled up stuff for no reason?
each culture independently came up with the pyramid idea.
Yeah, that's very strange. Like,
on their own, independently, with like slight differences, obviously, but just,
Right.
I find that really fucking hard to believe. Okay,
I agree.
So,
I agree. 100%.
Yeah, Mother Civilization, which was Atlantis, which could be a lot of things, but and Randall points this out, and I agree with them. It wasn't they didn't have spaceships and time crystals and all this fucking shit, but they might have been way more in tune with the Earth. Well, no, they probably were than we were, and we might be on the precipice of rediscovering stuff that they knew.
Yeah, like Tesla tried to do. He was obsessed
Yep.
with Egypt. He spent his at least 3 years in his younger 20s in Egypt, just asking every prophet or historian that he can get his hands on about what the pyramids were. And as far as I'm concerned, I believe that they were some sort of energy harnessing device to harness the telluric current and send out an energy field. That's where Tesla himself said that he got the idea for the Wardcliffe Tower. He built it over an aquifer, just like the pyramids are. And, we think about the fact that the pyramids are everywhere and all these images of people taking pictures around pyramids. And you see the little balls, it's just electricity in the air.
What?
The ghost balls, they claim that they're ghost balls. That's
No.
electricity. That's
What?
electricity in the air.
That's
Right.
crazy.
And it happens a lot
Like radiation
around these pyramids because they naturally collect energy and emit it. So when we think about something that Graham said keeps popping in my head throughout this conversation about how what he believed the Atlantis civilization people did is they really, like you said, Gary, they cared about nature, but they also understood that there are people out there that weren't as advanced as they were, hunter-gatherers that are still hunter-gathering out there and about. They're like, you know what? We're not going to mess with their land. We're just going to be really advanced here. And maybe some of them did start imparting their knowledge because maybe they felt like it was time. So they started sending different people everywhere to build pyramids or teach them.
Yeah.
Hence the people on boats imparting knowledge. That's what Osiris did in Egypt. I can't think of any of the other examples of countless examples that they gave.
Quetzalcoatl. There was the
Quetzalcoatl. Yep.
So where I was, if you want to look at this, I mean, it's about, this connects to Atlantis possibly falling basically to the bottom of the ocean. I'm going to send you a link, Garrett, of that rift in Ethiopia on the Google map. And it's and if you go look at pictures of it, if you haven't already out there, it's pretty trippy. It's pretty fucking trippy.
He's loading.
It's loading. It's
oh yeah, I found this. Okay.
Djibouti. I can't even pronounce it, man. But yeah, go in on it. Okay, right there. Stop. You see that whole area right there? That's where the rift starts. Okay, so they think that's all going to break off, and there'll be an ocean in there soon. Like,
so like zoom out
from there.
Zoom out.
Crack through. I see.
Yeah. It's going to create a new ocean, like a brand new ocean.
In 250 million years, is that what you said?
Less than that. It's less than that.
200 million. Okay.
Probably like 100 million years, but
100 million years. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But you can see like the land is breaking up. There's
it's going right through Ethiopia, like right in the middle.
And it's like just super you can see all the, like, it's just all volcanic up there, up on the top left. If you go, like, those are all volcanoes. There's volcanic pools. But it looks alien. There's a bunch of pools with like it's water and sulfur, and people actually go there for tourism. If you don't get kidnapped and murdered, you probably have a good time. But,
as long as that doesn't happen,
yeah,
you'll be good.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
nuts.
all along this little crack here.
Yep. All the way down.
Wow.
It's gonna break right off.
So this stuff could happen fast, it's and maybe I think that's the one thing. I think to think everything is gradual is just insane. I just, rocks hit our fucking planet. They do, like, all the time. And what
Look at
again?
Chicxulub.
Yes.
changed the entire landscape of the planet.
Well, you see
And
all
to think that couldn't happen again.
you see all the bombardment on Mars and
Our own moon. Yeah.
We have the same bombardment. We just have erosion that covers it up. But it's all over the place. And they keep finding new ones all the time. There's a massive one in South Africa. There's a fucking huge one. It's half the country. It's like huge. So we've been hit a lot. And it could happen any day. It sucks. Enjoy your life. I know. I usually don't like the black bill, but yeah, Merry Christmas.
Giant comet.
No, I think the opposite. When I think about the fact that life could end at any moment, it makes you appreciate life more. I mean, that's what happens when someone close to you dies. You recognize that you can lose someone, or you yourself could be gone. So you need to cherish what you have. I mean, there's two different options. Some people don't see it that way. They focus on the death, but I don't know. I think about the fact that I'm alive, and I'm grateful for that every day. And I think more people need to learn that lesson.
Yeah. Well, that was a lesson. My pops, the last conversation we had before he died, that was pretty much his lesson. His parting wisdom to me was, don't be all sad about it and everything. You better get off your ass and do something. So I did.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to we got 1999 from John. Is it Hogue? Is it Hogue? It's Hogue. Sorry, John. Or Haug. I suck. Geopolymer is it geopolymer theory of stones. Best cast like concrete is a plausible explanation as it explains transport of crushed material great distances, use chemical reactions to resolidify in molds on site, precise edges. They brought that up, and they've actually shown an example of something in nature doing that. And if there's something in nature doing that, then you have a precedent. So there is a bird that can do something. It doesn't dig out the stone. It's something chemical that it does to a stone that will eat it away.
Wow.
So maybe they figured a way out that it's like you said, basically it's like concrete. It softens it, and then they're able to transport it or just make them right there. I mean, that's what they look like. The polygonal stones look like, marshmallows. They look like little marshmallows, and they're put together perfectly. And no normal human being would just it looks like they built them one at a time. It looks like they went choo choo choo. Okay, this goes here, this goes here, and it looks like it was fucking easy for them.
And yet, and certain stones though, they've compared from different places on the planet that have the same exact angles. Above doorways, they have certain ones that
when they have those little nubs.
Those archways, those doorways, those are weird.
No, the nubs are different. That's something different, actually.
That's
a whole other conversation.
Nubs leaves me to believe that they that they were putting these things together like putty, right? But you're right on the arch, those doorways for one. They look like in Greece, Turkey, in South America. And again, how did they? I find it very hard to believe that they independently came up with that type of doorway that looks exactly alike.
Yeah.
That's a little difficult, but thank you, John, for the 1999. Sorry if I screwed up your last name. Crash 6674 for $10. Part 3. Oh wait, that's part 3. Okay, I'm gonna have to go and look for parts 1 and 2.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna bring up a picture.
No boobs.
I got the Solon remix, by the way. That's what that is.
Oh, good. We can enjoy that.
So it's the bottom of the pyramids, and those. How are they so perfectly? Right, so tight on there. What is this? And they all have these nubs. They all have these little.
So that's
Like
the
nubs on
encasing
them.
stone, right? That's the encasing stone that was over all the limestone.
Yeah.
And I believe is like rose granite or something, like something really fucking hard. And yeah, this is a part of the pyramid. This is a Great Pyramid of Giza. Yeah, because there's a big old hole in it. This, you don't see this a lot. Like you don't see this little, and this is again, they were encased in this, and then they were encased in that like really bright stone. So they used to be white. As a matter of fact, I saw the Lego Pyramid of Giza, and I was like, I almost.
Oh, there's a Lego
like,
pyramid
Rob,
of Giza.
There's a Lego Pyramid of Giza, but then I had a moment of like, I'm never gonna fucking put this together. My wife's like, we're never doing
Aw. How big was it? Was it like 3
does it
feet
show
tall?
what's in the hidden chamber?
Yes,
What's-
it does.
What's
It's
in the hidden chamber?
Does it
Actually,
produce little
powers-
balls of lightning?
When you're done with it, it powers your house.
Nice. That's
No,
awesome.
it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. I don't know if that's exactly how it looked, but no, you're right, Garrett. Like, and also surrounding on the Giza plateau, surrounding the pyramids, there's like huge pieces of stone that they laid there, on the ground. So it's
Right,
not
the
just
foundation.
ground, it's a foundation. There's a massive foundation.
They don't talk about that.
How did they do
No.
that?
How? Yeah. Oh, slaves in loincloths with
That's what it was.
iron tools. And
I don't think it was slaves. I think it was an honor to work on the pyramids.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it would be. It's like a massive project that must have taken decades, if not hundreds of years.
no real tools. They did find they found like graves of slaves for sure, but that could have been like I think the pyramids are thousands of years old, like super old, like
10,000, 20,000.
20,000. I think 20,000.
There's some scientists that say the Sphinx is 26,000 years old, or
Yeah, Robert Schoch.
23. Yeah, 23,000 years or something like that.
Robert Schoch.
And when you hear him talk about it, it makes a lot of sense. The water erosion and the fact that it was there before the pyramids, like,
dude, his cataclysm theory is even scarier than Randall's. Because
so we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah,
I'll rewatch it.
Yeah, because it's Randall's is some comets hit down, 10% of the biomass on Earth burned up. North America was on fucking fire. And Robert Schoch's is plasma from the sun hit our atmosphere, and like mile wide lightning bolts came down and just fucking obliterated everything. And
holy shit.
Yeah, it's yeah, neither one of those I ever want to live through. Okay.
Agreed.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in that.
I'm with you.
I'm
with you on that.
I have my brown pants on for that one. Okay.
We're gonna go back to the geopolymer stuff. Look at this. This is from Giza. Look at that. Like it's two pieces of rock fused together.
Wow.
With one line. Like, how did they do that? It's insane. There's like another diagram of it.
Dude.
It's crazy.
What is it? What am I looking at though? What exactly is that?
That's a line. That is
so here it's a stone that from Giza.
Oh, okay. I see. They're
Giza
holding
pyramids.
a stone. Okay. I
holding
thought
a
it was like a
stone.
thin layer. Now
I guess they I don't know if they cut it or it broke off. And
It broke
got like a seam.
It's got a seam. And dude, watch Uncharted X. Just go down the rabbit hole in that, and that guy does is walk around the pyramid. Well, it's not all he does, but like he walks around the pyramids and shows like stones that look like they were cut where like say it was a saw. We don't know if it was a saw, but whatever the cutting device was, it like fucked up and went, and you can see, and they just discarded it.
Where it goes like
yeah, where it got jacked up, but it's still like it's a jacked up cut, but it's like perfectly cut.
You know, the inverted pyramid that they talk about in the pyramid code, it's like 50 miles west of Giza.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like that was almost like a forge. Like there was some parts of it that looked like it was burnt. Like they were fusing something or using some sort of fusion to like cut through some stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know how it makes sense, but they don't talk about that often.
No, the one that's the one that looks blown up. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, it's open to the sky. It's like an
Completely
inverted
blown
pyramid.
up. Yeah, it's fucking
something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened there.
Somebody was messing around. So a Toxic Man Flu for $50. Thanks, Flu. My best to miss this Flu. Gary, I know you are famous for quote.
Yeah, it's quotes.
Accurate. What, I got my very first lunch comped for being a YouTuber, and I felt trying to refuse it. I was like, no, I can.
I made the mistake of refusing. You don't refuse. You got to.
No, he wouldn't let me. He wouldn't let me.
Thank you.
So we went to the Yard House in San Antonio at the mall, and I don't know if I want to get him in trouble, but Jay, the general manager, cool dude, said, love your stuff, man. Hooked you up. So thanks, brother. Go to the Yard House. It's actually pretty good. So famous for Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, Lord of the Rings, comic book shop owner, and your great taste in both music and pizza, which is true. I have excellent taste in music and pizza, like better than
music's much better than pizza.
But better than you in pizza for sure.
Pineapple. No.
It's fighting words where I come from.
Okay. Well, let's go. I mean, we'll get in the ring over this. I will die on this fucking hill.
Well, I'll rep.
It's acidic. It burns you from the inside when you eat it.
See that?
Trying to kill you.
I'm going to give you one. This is your Christmas present, Garrett.
What is it?
I don't want it.
It's pineapple.
I don't want it. It disgusts me.
It's pineapple and pizza.
Pineapple and pizza together.
Where did you get that?
Oh my god!
It was sent to me.
That's funny.
Sick.
But these discussions are what bring my milkshake to your yard. Hey, baby. Hey now.
It's a green milkshake, by the way.
What? Yeah,
so,
I was going to say the
careful.
yards I've been to, you don't want you to bring your milkshake to. Okay, you really don't. It's a bad idea. I'm from California. I don't know shit about pizza. That is prejudice. That is bigotry. Just because I'm from a stupid communist state.
I'm from Chicago. We know pizza.
Dude, Chicago pizza is fucking awesome, dude.
I would never
kiss the deep dish. It is beautiful. I had my first one when I was there, and I had no concept of how good that. I mean, it's a pie, but it's good.
Okay,
I would like to go to Chicago.
That's a trap
there.
See, we have the deep. I'm give you a little secret. All right, from Chicago. All right, maybe I might get my Chicago license revoked from this.
Whatever you get shot for.
Okay.
Yeah, I might get shot for it. Lord knows they've tried. All right, so this is the deal with the deep dish, right? We actually have that as a trap for it's almost like a fly trap for tourists.
Okay.
So the tourists, they go eat the deep dish.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's good deep dish. I don't even consider it pizza. It is a pie.
It's more of
it's a pizza pie, like in the literal sense. True Chicagoans, they don't eat that shit. All right. That's for tourists. And all the tourists, they go and eat the deep dish, and then all the real Chicagoans are going and walking to the good pizza places and
eating regular pizza.
You mean like bullet pizzas? That's what you get.
Bullet pizzas?
Well, yeah, because you get shot while you're eating your pizza.
Oh, well, I go to the safer areas.
It's lead. That's the topping. See, I went to New York City. They're famous for having the pizza. Right?
Yeah.
And I did not like it. I tried 4 different pizza places in New York City. They were all trash.
The best pizza place in New York.
They all said best pizza ever.
A dollar slice pizza.
What are you, Elf? Did you go to the one that says best pizza ever?
Best pizza ever.
Congratulations!
I went to one in Times Square. It was dry.
Oh, don't ever go there and buy anything.
I ate one from the business district. Not good either. I went
even
to
worse.
Chinatown.
Is it? Yeah.
I went to Uptown. It was not. None of those places had good pizza. I don't know what it is. They do have really good hot dogs, though.
No, you got to go to Brooklyn or Staten Island.
I like Brooklyn.
That's where you
food
get
is actually really good. I had my first New York hot dog in Brooklyn.
Place I ate at was good.
Great.
Good pizza. I was with.
Where'd you eat? Where'd you get pizza?
I can't remember. I was in Manhattan. It was near the con, and Hey Viv, the YouTuber, she's great. Took me and Jeremy there. And
Lower East Side, hopefully.
Yeah.
I feel like the Lower East Side's got good pizza.
It was good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, thanks. My wife cuts my hair.
I hate my haircut, by the way.
I like your haircut.
Oh, thank you.
I think
it's growing in.
It looks like You've told everybody where you live now, right? Like what country you live in? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you look like a true Euro now.
I mean, and look at my
You're
sweater.
feeling very.
Does this sweater just scream European
It
now?
does.
I didn't intend
You
that.
need
My
a
mom gave
cigarette.
me this. It's like a polo sweater from the 80s.
Yeah. Where's
I
your
do like it though.
Where's your
It's
cigarette?
just so warm. It's my warmest item.
Shouldn't you be watching World Cup right now or something? Or what?
No, I don't watch football.
I don't watch soccer.
I don't watch sports at all. I'm not. No.
Yeah, I'm done. Baseball. I watch. Baseball.
Who's your team?
Padres? San Diego Padres.
All right.
Born in San Diego. Nobody chooses to be a Padre or Charger fan. Born there. Okay. There is a story about Jacques Cousteau when he dove in Lac. Oh my God. Gabet in Djibouti, whatever the fuck it is. That's the place. That's the rift in Ethiopia. And I just screwed up that name. He saw something so terrifying that when he said the world is not ready for what was down there. Probably a big boiling acidic volcano, or maybe he saw a monster. Jacques Cousteau was the man, by the way. I grew up watching that dude. Yep.
It's got sets of style.
Yep.
He would have worn this sweater.
He would absolutely worn that sweater. I think he did. So as a matter of fact, he was exactly that sweater. To be honest,
his
It's like I look at the tag and it's like he's got his name scrawled on. I'm like, oh shit,
Jacques Cousteau.
Jacques Cousteau's own sweater.
Wow. If you find this, please return it to Jacques. It was Jacques Cousteau's son who was on Easter Island. They were on Easter Island.
I want to go there.
Yeah,
he was in an ultra, the ultralight, which is basically a hang glider with a motor,
right?
And but it has instruments. So his son went up, but the people in the island said, "Do not go to the north part of the island. It will mess with your instruments and you will crash." And he did, and he almost died. There's a lot of weird. When we talk about Robert Schoch, we'll talk about Easter Island and how fucking weird that place is, because it's
interesting.
Weird. It is a weird place. And it used
Gary, I don't want you to forget. Please send me whatever Robert Schoch stuff you want me to watch.
I will do that.
I really want more of that knowledge.
Well, hell yeah, we got to get you out. I was hinting towards it today because we're going to Randall Carlson, Graham Handcock, and Jimmy from Brightside are all doing a talk in June in Asheville, North Carolina. I got tickets for Garrett, my wife, and myself. If we can get you out there, Adam, we'll get you out there, dude. We'll see if it's possible. Like what our vax status is.
All right,
stupid country. And
oh god. Well, no, I'm American, by the way.
So you can come. You can come in.
But I mean,
so I didn't renounce my citizenship.
No,
I'm going to be American forever. I'm proud American.
But does it have to do with citizenship or where you live, where you currently live?
No, I have a passport. I'm American. I can.
Okay.
So that's never going to change.
It's only
good, by the way.
Business.
But I wasn't sure. I didn't think it had anything to do with your citizenship. I thought it was like residency. I thought it was. That's great.
That's what I have in Sweden.
Just tourists.
I'm allowed to live here. I'm not a Swedish citizen, by the way. I just have a residency card. I could live here.
That's cool.
So
good. You're like an alien.
I am. You know, it's funny.
You snuck into the country.
If you follow me around, when I go around, I'm so very much American. I walk into a crowd, and it's like, oh, that's the American.
I feel like if you didn't talk, though, you could blend into a Swedish crowd.
True. But the second I open my mouth, everyone's like, American.
Well, beer is supposed to be cold.
They drink it warm over there?
No, they drink it cold. I don't know.
They drink it cold. Not in the UK.
That's
Guinness.
Swedish.
Right, that's Guinness. It's a different.
Well, I don't drink beer, so fuck it.
What's wrong with Guinness?
I don't drink beer anymore. I used to.
Alcohol
really my thing anymore.
I like Guinness.
Yeah, I felt like the ugly American walking around in Europe. I had no problem with it. I was like, that's right.
Yeah. I don't know what that feels
America.
like.
Yeah. What you gonna do?
You ready?
Can we
you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Let me turn it up a little bit.
Oh, salon, Fire and water have no mercy. Oh, Salon, Salon. Great cities perish, consumed to ashes. There have been and will be again many destructions of mankind arising out of
They
many
laugh.
causes. The greatest have been brought about by the agencies of fire and water. The forest clad
Oh man, you made this sound like it was gonna be bad.
fires within.
No, I didn't say it was bad. Hold on, I didn't say it was bad. I just said the juxtaposition of the
Oh, it's like
seriousness
the
of the topic.
I mean,
So then this, it's just like, what the hell just happened?
Randall is the driest dude on
Yeah,
earth, but it's
exactly.
like his information like blows your mind. But if he was
Right.
talking about anything else, you'd be all, what? Say that again, please.
Right, it's so interesting,
Yep.
but then they drop this.
The forest
Yeah.
mountains burn.
I need some glow sticks, man.
Poems of Solon. Oh, Solon, Solon. Fire and water have no mercy. Oh, Solon, Solon. Great cities perish, consumed to ashes.
I think it just repeats.
That's pretty
Oh,
good.
but here,
That's pretty
this is great. We got the so the Egyptian priests,
Yep.
600 BC, told Salon about Atlantis. It's great.
Prophetess.
Then to drop
Critias
it
the elder. I love Critias the elder, Critias the younger. I was like, God, I wish I would have done that with my kid. And just Gary the elder,
younger.
Gary the younger. Should have done that. Oh
It's
well.
not too late. Just be like, I'm still your father. I'm changing your name.
Changing your name. No.
You
You
still
are
live
now
under my
Gary the
house.
Younger. I don't know if you want, this goes on for a while. I'm just
It goes
gonna-
on. There's another
Well,
one.
it
too.
just repeats. Yeah, there's that's
It's
in the
repeating in
first
my head
episode.
now.
Yep.
This was the second episode I searched there to find that. It's funny.
That's good.
It's good stuff. But yeah, we'll try to get you out, Adam, because I think it'll be.
I'd love to, dude. I would love to go. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do a little meetup, but it's like a 2-day event, 3-day event, something like that. We'll have a good time. And honestly, I've never stayed in North Carolina. I've driven through it a bunch of times, but never like I've been in airports, but I've never like gone to the state and hung out. And there's things you can look at. There's the Carolina Bays, which are evidence of the cataclysm. They believe Randall has done a big old thing on Joe Rogan. He talked about it on his second interview, in his second or first, about the Carolina Bays. And if you don't know about it, they look like these teardrop things. They're all over Carolina, the Carolinas. And he thinks it might have been ejecta. So it hits the ice pack, and it just flies up in the air, and all this shit comes down and just sprays. And there's similar things in Nebraska. There's the Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's yeah. So he thinks that because their theory of how they came about is weird. It's a weird theory, like some water created them from underground or whatever. Honestly, I buy the ejecta from impact because that's what it looks like. It looks like just it got sprayed.
Well, we're lucky that if you want to think about it, if you research Chicxulub, which I did a segment on it a couple years ago, it hit where water's at.
Yep.
So it created such a big crater that it was molten, and then water rushed in and mixed with the molten and went airborne, and it covered the sky around the entire planet. And that ended a lot of most of the life on the planet. So the fact that it hit the North American ice sheet and just melted the water pretty much devastated all of North America, obviously the Azores, Atlantis, even where I'm at, North Europe, a little bit over in North Russia, but then it was just dissipated. It didn't go into the atmosphere like Chicxulub did. So we actually got really lucky, because if that hit, below the ice sheets or somewhere in the ocean, or like the Yucatan, we're right on the edge of water, who knows what would have happened. And we don't know how big it is because there's no crater, because it hit ice.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Now, there's the one in up in Greenland that's as big as Paris, the city of Paris, that they found. And it
Really?
And it is possibly in that date range. Possibly. It's a huge date range, by the way. It's like 12,000 to 50,000 years ago. They're not sure. They haven't tested the ice there, and maybe they're eventually going to do that. But they found that in the last 5 years. Garrett, you can look here. I've
got Iceland up here.
It's on Greenland. It's pretty easy to find. I'm going to say that and now not be able to find it, but I found it.
Of course.
There it is. I found it. Okay, here it is. Because it's like
I got a direct link to it.
I got a direct link that I'm going to give you right now. Boop, boop, boop.
I think it's further
Salon.
up.
Further up.
Oh, Salon. Salon. It gets in your head, man.
Further up. Oh, wait.
This is Iceland.
Oh,
no, this is Greenland.
I think it's that little cut in between the
like right here.
On the northwest.
Nope. Okay, zoom in. You got it.
Zoomed in.
Okay, stop. Okay, go put your cursor down. Go down. See that half circle right there?
Yeah, on the left there.
Stop right there. It's go up. Go, no, stop. Now go. Stop right there. There's your half circle right there. That's it. Oh, look. There's little like
even closer
lakes in there.
There's not a lot of satellite.
It's too
footage
close.
Here. It looks like.
No, I flew over Greenland once. It was a trip, man. It was a trip. You see all the it was during September, right? So all the icebergs were breaking off at the bottom of it. Looks so fucking cool. That was the only time I wasn't like completely terrified looking out the window of a plane.
I saw a documentary about animals in Greenland, and it showed a lot where there was snow, but then it also showed a lot of like grasslands, and there was absolutely no trees at all.
None.
It's one of the things I noticed that was really odd. It was just sloping hills with just nothing. And I'm like, how does that happen? How did no trees grow at all? I mean, obviously Africa, but even Africa, there's trees, you got every so often there's a tree somewhere, like nothing. And I'm like, how does that happen? And now, since that point, this was years ago when I watched this documentary, and then you guys, really, thank you, introduced me to Randall Carlson and Graham Handcock. And I went into that Rogan interview and then started spiraling into anything I can get my hands on. And then that image came in my head. I'm like, man, that makes a lot of sense, actually. If something hit during the Younger Dryas and just all that landmass got pushed over Greenland, it would make sense that nothing's there. It's
just wiped it away.
And left just nothing there.
You are not wrong. There was a medieval warming period that the climate change activists love to ignore.
Of course they do.
Warmer than it is now. And that's when the Vikings went to Greenland and settled there for a while and farmed there because it was that much warmer.
It's not far.
It's not far.
It's like right there.
No.
You guys
people live.
You guys are gonna have to come here soon, and we can go exploring some Viking shit. I think I told you about my neighbor, which is the Viking Heritage Site, right? I think I told you guys that.
Yeah.
We'll check that out. The Viking holes.
Hell yeah, dude.
So cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to be traveling again, man. Oh, it's been so long. I went to Sicily for a couple weeks. That was the last time I actually did a vacation with my family, and that was fucking unbelievable. I didn't want to go on the trip at first. I'm always like that with my poor wife, dude. Any big trip, I'm like, I don't want to get on plane. I don't want to go. But when I get there, I'm like, this is the greatest thing.
Why did we wait this long?
This is great. She just like screams, Sorry. Toxic Man flew for $50. Okay. Damn you, Flew.
Toxic.
I don't remember what started this super chat war. Maybe pineapple pizza. How much Bon Jovi sucks, and possibly the geopolitical ramifications of academic establishment accepting that the Sphinx is eons older than previously thought.
Are
people arguing?
Got rain erosion on it.
just saw Flu's super chat. So here's another $50, WG.
WG.
Why? I'm not even sure anymore. Flu and I just got into a super chat fight one day, and well, here we are. Yeah, God. You guys, thank you. But calm down. Do I have to separate you two? Gary, I heard you mention getting an RV and taking Az around the US. Yes, I'm dead serious about that. I would do that.
That'd be a great road trip.
Take him to Skinwalker Ranch and use him as bait for the shadow person they detected once on infrared. Richard E. Enormous for 10 Canadian pesos. Hell yeah. As a matter of fact, yeah, I do have an actual reaction. I have his war cry. That's what he'll do. Yeah, I am such a dork for Skinwalker Ranch. Hang on. I'll show you what a dork I am for this place.
We should go to Skinwalker Ranch. I would be down. I did a segment on that a couple years ago too.
We gotta get a whole list together.
I hope they get another season
North
of the
American
show
and European stuff to go to.
But I joined their fucking fan club because I'm a dork.
Yes, you are.
I got a shirt and I get access to Q&A, and look, I'm an exclusive member right there. See, exclusive.
Wow,
very nice. Prestigious,
exclusive.
Prestigious. And I can look at their cams now. That's part of it. Their live cams out on the ranch. You can.
When was the last time you looked at that live cam?
A day ago.
You're like, I have a separate monitor. I'm looking at it right now.
I have it up at all times.
Yeah,
cool.
Just waiting for one of those Skinwalkers.
We'll do a show on Skinwalker Ranch. I'll tell you what I think it is.
Oh yeah.
Because there's definitely something going on there. There's definitely. I mean, what people are seeing might be just manifesting in their head due to it being like just this uber magnetic anomaly or something.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Where does it lie? Where's the ley lines?
The ley lines, and it's an old impact site. It's an old ancient impact site. So here we go. Tower of Babel, a pyramid in Atlantis. That's why pyramids are everywhere. Maybe. Maybe.
Ooh.
You never know. That Tower of Babel. I remember when it was it Sodom and Gomorrah? They didn't think they existed until they found them.
Until they found them. Oops.
So
look at that.
The science is now settled.
It's now, right? Yeah. Now it was settled, but now it's definitely.
Remember, settled. Troy was. I mean, this was a long time ago, but Troy was considered a myth too. It's not. It's there. So yeah, they're still. And I wish I can remember the name of that one desert town that they thought was mythical, and they found it fucking buried in the sand.
What, the trade town? That's cool. Yeah, I want to know more about
what
that.
It was called though. It's in Egypt.
It's cool.
I can't afford super chat fight, says Jared Addison for $10. Yeah, don't. If you can't afford it, please don't. Okay.
But thank you. Thank you though.
But thank you. Absolutely thank you. Jehovah. Now you're in trouble. I just said did he say halibut? I'm thinking Monty Python. I just said this halibut was good enough for Jehovah. That's all I said. When he's getting stoned, and it's a bunch of women dressed up as men because like women aren't allowed to stone the guy.
Oh yeah.
Why for Brian? Come on.
They're like, who was that?
It's been a long time since I've only seen that movie once, and it was like
dude,
2 years ago. I need
20-something years ago.
I want to be a woman.
Rewatch Life of Brian. There is so much shit they talk about that is applicable to now, including that stoning scene, which is hilarious.
I'll have to watch it.
I identify as a woman hero. No, I don't.
No, what?
Confused about that.
That doesn't even make sense, Viper.
It doesn't. I'm not that. I'm not short. I mean, I'm not super tall, but I'm not short.
I like that. That's what you focus on. I'm not short. All right.
I meant short people.
Well, who's they though?
Short people.
Right.
Got no reason to live. They did a song about it. Okay.
What a fucked up song, man.
Fucked up song.
It's just messed up.
Short people got no reason to live. I dedicate that one to Comics Division, by the way. Biggest, dickest. Yes. Was it? I can't remember what fish it was though. I'm not 4'11.
Have you ever had halibut? That shit is delicious.
I hate it.
Never
hate
had
fish.
Yeah, he's not a
you're not a fish
watery
eater?
creature guy.
Hate fish. Yeah.
Well, do you like lobsters or nothing out of the
It's
ocean?
a bug. Lobster is a fucking bug.
It is technically a bug. The only bug
It's
I'm down to
delicious.
eat. I would eat lobster.
I eat
bug.
shrimps.
Lobster. Those are also bugs.
Also bugs. But they're clean because they're in the water all the time.
Yeah, swimming in their own
They're shit water.
Yeah, what are they?
eaters.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, what do they eat? You know what they eat, right?
Yeah.
They eat the trash of the
But if you
ocean.
clean it out.
Yeah, they're the cleaners of the ocean.
They are. Yeah.
I hope everyone in the chat is
They're
having
in
a
the
very
mouth.
Gary Christmas. Oh boy, we are winning. Hashtag we are winning. We are winning. It's about time. I'd love to say that we are winning because everybody figured out, like, maybe what we're doing is pretty fucked up, but that's not the case. It's because they're losing a lot of money now. So whatever.
That's
wins.
it.
Which is also pretty good. I mean,
Ain't that the
if
truth?
if it was that between that and nothing, I'd take that.
Principles. You would hope it was because of these things called principles, which do not exist in Hollywood or big tech or government or anything else.
No.
It's just this fun little thing that we the people practice in our daily lives. Please consider inviting Dutch Since on your show. He has a lot of knowledge of earthquakes, ancient geography, and star forts. Thank you. Hell yeah. Okay, Western civilization. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. We will bring on guests. That's the one thing we're gonna do.
Love it.
Yep. A YouTuber named Andre Zertis would be perfect for the show. Andreas Zertis.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
my buddy Andreas. He knows all about Star
He
Forts.
would be great.
Tartaria. Yeah, he would.
Tartaria. Yeah. Which
We'd have to
Randall
keep
brings
him.
up.
We'd have to keep him focused. But does Randall bring up Tartaria? I didn't.
He
when
brought
does
it
he
up
bring-
very quickly in the first episode. He mentioned
Tartaria?
I missed that.
Tartaria is where? Is what?
It's a civilization.
Yeah, it's
like
a civilization. It's hard to
probably spoke to you more.
honestly. Andreas talked to me about it, but like I still don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
they're the
really
ones who
neat.
built all the star forts and all that stuff, and it's like I don't know. It's basically a civilization that all other civilizations tried to delete from history. Or something along those lines. But they're the ones who actually created a lot of like the ancient sites. Not ancient sites, because I think Göbekli Tepe, but like much newer. It's not that old. Not like pre-Younger Dryas stuff.
Okay, okay.
It's more recent, last 2,000 years or something like that.
Interesting. Haven't
Yeah.
heard that one.
Tartaria? You've never heard of Tartaria?
Really? We
Nope.
should do a deep
All
dive.
right, we got to get Andreas on then. Yeah, he would love to come
He
on.
would just
here.
go all on that.
Yeah, he would love it.
Requesting to have him on a guest or as a regular. Thanks, mate. Sledge, thank you for the $4.99. Sure, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I'll talk to him tomorrow.
In my university days, I had a discussion about Atlantis with my TA. She said to me, if Atlantis was real, it was most likely the Minoans or Crete. That's what many say. But the problem is the timing does not line up. Like Randall is very, very serious about like the fact that they brought up 9,000 years ago twice.
Yeah.
In this partial thing that way. Oh my God. Did you get to the part where he stops reading it? Like, because I've never heard where it ends, where Plato's telling of Atlantis ends right when Zeus is about to like lay down the law. It's like it ends. It's like, God damn it.
Finish your work.
That's worse than fucking A Song of Ice and Fire. Like we're never getting the rest of that story.
Truth.
Shit. But it's the Minoans of Crete is definitely a possibility, and it's crazy.
No, Randall talks about that though.
Yeah.
He brings that up, that people are always saying like this is what they say it could be. But I mean, this is deep into his explaining of why he thinks it's in the Azores. And after all of that, it's like, yeah, it's not there. It's in the Azores.
WG was telling me in the member stream today that I believe it was his friend. He was relating a story that they found a place in Jordan that looks like it was just wiped out by we'll say like Chexloop or an impact that it wasn't an impact. It was a meteor that basically blew up in the atmosphere, possibly.
Oh,
and,
so like an air nuke.
Yeah.
Like an air nuke. And like it wiped out everybody down to their feet. Like
so
that's
it's just a bunch of feet hanging out.
Just was left.
Wow.
So but it doesn't fit. It's cataclysmic, so it's being ignored. And like there is so much of that in the Indus Valley. There's a place where the skull, where the remains are radiated, which could happen from an impact. In the atmosphere.
Yeah, they found a site in India that was like that.
Yeah, the Indus Valley. It's fucking nuts, dude.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
The place in India. Yeah. I saw a bunch of people are like, "Oh, did humans already kill themselves with nukes?" And I'm like, you know that like that could just be a meteor that ignites, blows up in the atmosphere.
Space nuked us.
Space nuked us. Yeah. But who sent it though? Huh? Amuamua changed trajectory. It changed trajectory. It just left our solar system.
That was one of the
2 days ago.
One of the cool things the Expanse did was it so there's these tungsten metal they just made these like basically arrowheads,
right?
That they would sling down at the Earth, and that's how the Belters like destroyed most of the Earth. As they got control of these things and they just slung them down from space. Damn. Wiped everybody out. It's pretty
frightening presence. Rods of God. Yeah,
we can do that right now. I mean, I don't know if we could. It'd be bad.
Yes,
it's pretty bad.
It would. Bad. It would be bad. You know they exist, though.
Yes,
the government's got some shit like that.
If they don't already got it, they're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that Italian guy. I'll try to say. I always try to say your name and I just fuck it up, Paulo. So
say it really quickly so no one noticed.
Yeah, like that's what I did. It's Paolo. So is it Paulo? Paulo. Do I have to go Apollo?
Yeah,
that's it. You said it perfectly.
All right,
Paulo.
In my university days, I had he read that. So part 2 is I argued Plato said Atlantis was beyond the pillars of Heracles, the Straits of Gibraltar. The Mediterranean is inside the pillars, not beyond. End of story. That's it. And you know what their response is? Paulo. Their response is, they didn't, and Randall mentions it. Oh, he wasn't very good with distance and time. Really? I think one of the arrogance of our scientists, our current scientists, and again, Graham brings this up, is just this. I mean, it's elitism. They weren't fucking dumb back then. They weren't a bunch of idiots. Like the Roman society, they were really fucking advanced. They had actors, they had philosophers, they had comedians, they were writing script, like they had high art, like they
mapped out the solar system.
Yeah,
and anyone who did anything, that's literally all they did. Every single second of the day that when they woke up, a mathematician. That's all he did. He did math. When he was a child till the day he died, he did math. That's it. He didn't give a shit about geology. He didn't give a shit about history. He did math. Same with every other thing, right? I mean, these people, they became masters of their craft because that's all they had.
Yeah. And you know, our society, it has not been this we're finding out it hasn't been this gradual move up. It has been peaks and valleys. You know, it's kind of like being a YouTuber, you know. But
it's like life.
It's like life.
Wow, this is deep. We just got deep.
So deep, dude.
But I mean, it really does. It makes sense. Like, not everything is a straight line. Most things in nature are not. Nothing in nature is a straight line, right? So, like, time and our progression through science and finding things out about ourselves and about the world around us is not going to be a straight line, straight to our dumbasses on Twitter. Like, no. Like it's gonna be up and down all the way.
Graham had essentially like quit on his quest. Like he was kind of like, I said what I said, and unless something big comes up, like I'm kind of done. And then
Go back to Tempe.
Beckley Tappy,
I
baby.
fired him back up again.
Oh yeah. Now look at him go.
Oh, dude. I question all the sites now. The ones in Bolivia, the ones in Peru, the H blocks. Those are all 20,000 years old. Those aren't 10,000 years old. Those aren't some of them. God,
their dates are off.
Sexy woman or sexy woman. They say it's only like a few hundred years old, maybe 1,000 years old. No fucking way. No way. That shit is old.
I want to know what's underneath Göbekli Tepe, man. Because if that's 9,600 or no, it's 11,600 years old because it's 9,600 BC. So if that is that old, what's underneath it? I mean, the shit was buried, and then on top of the hill is something that's 11,000 years old. Like, it's obviously older. How old?
What makes you get up and go, we're going to ditch this place that we've been at for 1,000 years and, you know, spend a ton of time on, and we're going to bury it? And like,
science is settled. Science is settled, Gary.
And how do you convince that many people to bury it? Like,
and why bury it?
Yeah.
You know? Why?
Something.
Why
I like the
bury it?
explanation that it's a way of making a time capsule. We set a date
For what?
with this structure, and we cover it and say that's it. Once they find this,
something
that's the
so
date.
fucking bad happened.
What are they pointing to though?
Yeah, it brought all these people together.
And what does Göbekli Tepe point at? The fucking stars.
Yep.
At a specific point, and what happened at that point? The Younger Dryas event. A cataclysmic event. Let's document this cataclysmic event. What if the rest of them were other cataclysmic events that humans have survived?
Yeah,
like
because those things would be very important to us to remember.
Yeah, live underground, live on the top of mountains, have spread out across the planet. You know, learn how to harness the natural energy of the planet. Learn how agriculture works so we can survive. Like, what does Göbekli Tepe teach? Agriculture. That's how humans were able to continue thriving. You know, it wasn't a time of war because there wasn't enough people to war over land. You know, we were just spread out and so small a population that we were just worried about staying alive. Man, I can't wait to find out. I hope Graham Hancock's documentary really is a catalyst. And Joe Rogan, if you happen to be watching this, thank you very much, Joe, because you having them on your show and the Göbekli Tepe being found out, but then really, you know, Graham told Joe multiple times. The last time he was like, "Man, I really got to thank you." So, Joe, good shit, man, for having those guys on your show. Yeah. It was a catalyst.
It was great seeing him on when I first discovered that. You know, because Graham was on a long time ago, but you know, I knew Graham from Arbel, and yeah, I just like this guy's like his shit makes sense. It makes a ton of sense, and he doesn't get into super woo woo or anything like that. And it just kind of faded for a while. But I'm glad it's had this great, huge rejuvenation, and hopefully more people will carry it forward with less charlatans. And we have like but they have like real scientists who are open minded enough to work on it, which is good.
Yeah.
Hopefully they talk about it in the last Joe Rogan is like sadly, you kind of have to wait for the old guard to die off.
Yeah, dude.
Because they're so staunchly believed in this one thing, and they're like, I can't let that go because I spent my whole life on it.
Well, that scientist
can't let it go.
The scientist in Micronesia, the guy that I think it was the second episode, in Sunderland or used to be Sunderland.
Yeah, Danny Hellman or something. Yeah, it's
right. So they're doing work, right? Yep. They're actually, I mean, we might see what's in those 3 chambers,
and their work just started up again because at the writing of Magicians of the Gods, the work got shut down by the government. So it started back up again, which is really good because I
season 2.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
All right. So where was I? Solon was right, says Ruben Christopher Haynes, who I talked to on the member stream. What's up, brother? Thank you for the $2. Hail, Ruben.
That actually reminds me of something I was going to say earlier. the pyramid code, right? There's this Egyptian historian who talks about how his family line has passed down generation of knowledge to him, and he is very proud of that knowledge. And he talks about how important it was that he knew exactly what that information was so he can pass it on. And I always stuck with me. I was like, I really liked his character. He was so enthused to tell his knowledge to other people. That was like, we talked about it. They didn't have YouTubers. They didn't have internet. They didn't have any distractions from life. It was life, waking up, becoming a master of your craft. And to a lot of people, their craft that they mastered was retaining knowledge, was what Solon, what he did, these Egyptian priests that he learned from, that was their mastery. They mastered the story that they were carrying on. So, I hear this stuff about Solon to Plato and from the ancient Egyptians. I'm like, I have to believe like that's what they really focused on.
They dedicated their life to that.
When they were passing on, well, Plato mentioned that when they were passing on knowledge, they had to know it word for word.
Yep.
Right.
You had to memorize it word for word, and you went over it until you memorized it word for word. And that was important, and because there wasn't a lot of literate people, there wasn't a lot of writing. But think, to Göbekli Tepe, maybe that was the highest civilization, or what was left of it at the time. As Graham says, it was just passing on knowledge, and that was their only way to communicate. That was their writing.
Yeah.
And they got wiped off the face of the fucking earth. So how are we going to interpret any of it? Like the fact that we're is amazing, is brilliant. And they did it with astrological signs. And the fact of the matter is, like, that astrology goes way back. So some caveman just got up one day and went, okay, I'm going to map out the stars.
that dot, they're planets in a solar system, and they go around our little planet here. No.
Well, I mean, there's some tribes that are water based in the South Pacific that
they can follow the patterns.
They can map the stars. So like there are like hunter gatherer tribes out there that are masters of the stars that could potentially,
to the effect of building a temple around.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. Yeah, building
towards a certain star in the
multi-ton T-shaped things with perfect.
All of the things that go into all of the technologies and all of the things that go into building a structure like that. That's not just one aspect of science or technology. There's so many different aspects to it. Like, there's no way hunter gatherers did this.
Viper Chief threatened me with a good time.
Let's go. Let's sneak in. I'll sneak in there.
I don't think I'm interested.
I want to see who's in there.
Yeah, I want to be able to continue living.
I don't know if
Alex is alive.
If it's continuing to be what it is, because like maybe I don't know. It's still around.
Like Area 51. They moved.
No, it's most definitely there, because I drove up to it once. So it's in Northern California. It's a hotel. But it is awfully weird. I'll never forget when I first saw Alex's video. I'm like, this is fake, right? And then I'm like, oh shit, this isn't fake. What the fuck? That was like the beginning of my I guess a conspiracy red pill, where I started really going down, because like I listened to Alex on Art Bell too, and he sounded like a fucking nut. He sounded like a nut.
That's what Alex is like that, he sounds like a crazy person.
He's on the phone at the Bilderberger meeting, and he's on the phone. I'm in the hotel right now, Art, and I'm being tracked. They're following me, Art. And I'm like, oh, this guy's like, and then in the background, the alarm goes off and he gets like pulled out of the hotel room. So I'm like, that he just faked all that shit. But now that I've seen all this, I'm like, no, Alex is a lot of things. He's not going to fake shit. So yeah, that was those good old days. Oh, I miss Art Bell so much. We dedicate every episode to Art Bell, the ghost of Art Bell. The reason I'm here. That guy, I listen to that guy so fucking much. He was like my soundtrack of the 90s, besides all that horrible grunge music, but it wasn't all horrible. But my observation, the height of the pyramids corresponds with the height of the oceans. Check it out for yourselves. Really? Because I know that the circumference measures out, if you multiply it by a certain number, is the circumference of the Earth.
True.
Randall has talked about that. And he talked about that. Remember when he was, I just watched the short video where he's explaining to Joe as best he can the plasmoids and how every mineral has its own frequency. And if you can tune into that mineral's frequency, you can control it. And they're doing it with geometry, and they're making a something that can replace a combustion engine with no moving parts.
Wait. So
that's what he was talking about.
He released information more from what he was talking about on Joe?
On the Joe Rogan show.
Okay.
Just a little bit, the little nugget that he
clip out of it
dropped. Oh.
I really can't wait to hear more.
Yeah,
I really want to know.
Some of those corresponding numbers match the numbers that are the circumference of the pyramid, which is fucking weird. Because Randall says, because that part of his whole thing is the cosmographia thing is like, it's like tweaker shit. Okay. It's like, he's basically decoding the universe.
Right.
The shapes and numbers. Like it's pretty.
I tried listening to one of Randall's many sacred geometry lectures, and I got lost so fast because of how much information. Because he gives a lot of information, and especially this sacred geometry one that I tuned into. It was like, oh my goodness! Like I have to write this down and then reread it and reread it and reread it, and then like cross-reference the things that I wrote, and then listen to him again to then maybe start to really understand it all, because it's crazy.
Because he's been doing it for decades, right? I mean, he knows all the different avenues because he's been studying it for decades. So whenever he's explaining it, he's just like, and this, 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 and you're like, whoa, slow down, turn it down to half speed.
People will say simulation. I would say, I don't know if it's a simulation, but I think there is probably a base code to the universe of some kind. I think it was engineered somewhat. We'll find out
who created it.
Who's the architect? I don't know.
Who's the architect?
The elephant in the room with all of this is the Bible, and the key thing about it is that they tell us the dragon is Satan. I mean, I think what you have to appreciate, because Graham is not a Christian guy, and Randall, like I don't know what his beliefs are on that, but what they do is they absolutely respect him. They don't like Graham will come out and say religion is the scourge of the earth that's fucking caused a bunch of war and shit like that.
I think he's really talking about people.
But he's talking about the people. He respects the text, okay,
right,
for what it is. And his dad was religious. So I think his dad was I want to say preacher, I was a minister or something like that. But I mean I think that's all people ask for, is just respect it. And there is a lot of wisdom in a lot of that stuff, and there's a lot of truth and a lot of history. More Bible shenanigans. 4 rivers mentioned in Genesis that mark the location of Eden, Tigris, and Euphrates are known rivers today in Iraq. Yes, they are. And Graham brings that up. That's right around the area of Göbekli Tepe. If you go up, that's all in the general area where Noah's Ark ended up is not totally that far from Göbekli Tepe. So,
that's crazy.
It is a little nuts.
Yeah.
And I mean, and look at that area where Graham was. I wanted to go there, that in Turkey with those, that he called the fairy chimneys that look like just big dicks that was sticking up, but like that's a natural formation. Like what caused that? Holy shit. Hey guys, go on a Brian Forrester's Hidden Inca Tours tour to Egypt. He talks about all that stuff. I've been to Egypt and Peru. Best time of my life. Says Echoes of the Ancients for $5. That would be one of the tours I would absolutely consider, that or Megalithomania. Both of those two. Oh, I think Uncharted X is doing them too now.
Really?
But, Uncharted X is. I would go on a Brian Forrester tour. That guy's a maniac. I fucking love him. He's crazy, but like in a good way. He's like super obsessed. That's the kind of person that needs to be doing it. He's big on
dedicating his life to it.
Yeah, elongated skulls. The elongated skulls is the weirdest fucking thing. Sure, there was the cradle head deformation, whatever the fuck it's called, but then they found the ones with, so you have these sutures in your fucking skull, right? These little cracks. There's a bunch of these elongated skulls that don't have them. They just don't have them. So
that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense
how humans are made. So.
Yeah. And the L.A. Marzulli's Watchers episode 6. You can get it on Prime Video. It's absolutely the best of the Watcher series because they go with Brian Forster, and it's all about elongated skulls, and it's nuts. It's fucking nuts. So episode 6, Watchers, Prime Video, rent it if you have a chance. It's very, very good. I highly recommend you guys watch it. I can give you a copy though. I can sneak you a copy because I bought
that.
I bought it.
I like that.
I buy all this shit. I buy physical copies of all this shit. So
you do the buying, I'll do the watching.
Oh yeah,
I'll soak it
in. Brent Wolf gave me 3 parts, but they got messed up. Well, it got stuck in between. What's up, Brent? I'm gonna start at number 2. If I find I'll find number 1. Hang on. Sorry. We're gonna need X-Ray Girl on this. Like she's gonna have to help a brother out. Garrett just sent you a link to your Twitter with a timestamp for the visual of the flood. Ooh, go!
Hey, for real. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find
Brent
it.
Wolf, BRENT WOLFE.
Brent Wolf.
Thank you for the $20, Brent. And thanks for that. That is fucking awesome. Recent LiDAR surveys around tip of Persian Gulf show 2 dry riverbeds that all came together under current water level location would have been dry land when ocean levels were 400 feet lower. And that's both from Brent Wolf for $5 each. Thank you, Brent.
Thank you, Brent.
I'll find and that first. Oh, here's the first one. Okay, I already read that one.
Oh, it's a 13-minute video. I gotta find the spot in it where it shows it.
Find the spot. I'll read Soups.
I'm gonna watch this video later.
Speaking of all the spooky woo stuff, what's the most far-fetched fringe theory that you guys believe is 100% true? That's a good question, Grizzly, for $5.
Alien.
Okay, Garrett, you go first.
I just say aliens.
Okay. I don't think that's far-fetched, dude.
I don't think so either.
I don't think that's far-fetched.
I believe it, bro.
Big fucking universe. There's no way there isn't life out there. That's insane. There's life in our fucking.
I don't know if they visited us. I think that's the.
Yeah.
I think we're so large and there's so much
microbial
time.
life. There's microbial life in our solar system. End of story. There is.
Yeah, Enceladus.
Yeah,
I think so. In the saltwater oceans. I mean, we found the life at the bottom of the ocean here with the geysers. There's no and we know that they're on Enceladus, so there's no reason to believe that there isn't life on the geothermal vents at the bottom of that ocean.
Yep.
But what was the question one more time? Let me just.
So what is the most far-fetched theory that you think is 100% true, or you just believe in? I would say
the healing pyramids that are south of Giza along the Nile. I actually mentioned them earlier. The Egyptian historian said that his family line told him about how these ancient Egyptians would say, "Oh, what's ailing? Oh, you got a stomach ache? Go lay in this pyramid, and it vibrates at a certain frequency, and it heals specific parts of the body." I think that's pretty far fetched, but I also think it's fucking awesome. And I mean, everything's frequency. Everything's got a vibration. I mean, you were talking about these plasmoids. They're figuring out that the geometry of the pyramids correlate to these vibrations and controlling plasmoids. It's like, but everything seeming is coming closer and closer to that actually being reality, which would be fucking awesome. But I think that's pretty far-fetched, but something I believe in. It's pretty cool. What about you, Gary? Yeah, it's a good question.
It is a good question. It's either going to be giants or Bigfoot. Because I went through a long phase of Bigfoot.
Why not both?
Why not? But well, they might be both.
Yeah, it could be the same.
But then I went down this Bigfoot rabbit hole, and I went down and saw how far back the Bigfoot and the Yeti thing goes, and there's got to be something to it, dude. There's just thousands of sightings everywhere, and I'll just leave. I lived in California my entire life. There were mountain lions fucking everywhere. There was a point when I was young. We were in a pretty new subdivision, and we'd see footprints and stuff. But I never ever in my entire 53 years in California saw a mountain lion. Not once.
It's a 100 night though, right?
Yeah. But like I've been camping, I've been in the woods, I've lived in the woods, I've been everywhere in California. Never saw a mountain lion once. 50 plus years. So yeah, I think things can hide, especially like unless you've been to Northern California and Oregon, like dude, how dense the forests are there, and like there's no people. There's lots and lots of land with no people anywhere. So yeah, it's a possibility. I definitely think I'm not gonna.
So I have that video. All this about the geology.
Look at that.
Oh shit. Yep.
It's PBS.
Yeah. Well, they think the flood was not Lake Bonneville, Lake Missoula.
Over and over again.
Over time, right? Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That's just a ridiculous hypothesis.
He goes through the same things that
There's
Randall
the current
does.
ripples right there. Look at that. Those are insane. And those are big, by the way.
Mind-boggling. Well, yeah, pretty cool.
It's
I'm
cool.
definitely gonna watch this
And
later.
this is shit they wouldn't talk about. And guess who was talking about this stuff 20 years ago? Randall and Graham. They were
So
calling.
that's called The Unbelievable Story of Earth's Most Epic Flood. If you want to go watch that.
Yeah. But do they say it was a impact that melted the ice sheet, or do they say it's Lake Missoula breaking its ice dam, which they proved, by the way, that like the ice dam would have to be fucking massive to hold that much water.
Right.
Yeah.
In Lake Missoula, if you look on a map, it would have been huge.
And what would have caused that large of a dam to not only instantly like go away to have all that water, but then refreeze and do it multiple times
again,
fill up and
over and over and over.
Right.
Gradualism. And it's Brett's who initially said in the 20s, he's like, this is one big flood. And they just broke him down over years. And then when he was about to die, they're like, no, dude, you were right. And he's like, fuck. Like, and like Graham tells the story a lot. He's all, I'd love to gloat, but all my enemies are dead.
Right. Yeah. I've heard
they're all gone.
Fuck, man. Damn. It's the injustice of it all. How about Jimmy from Bright's insight? I guess absolutely. I think Jimmy's great. I love it when he comes out with a video. I always watch it. Freighter X for $9.99. I think he does.
I saw he follows all of us.
He does
on Twitter. Yeah.
Really?
Oh my god, I gotta follow him back. I'm a dick for not following him back. Jimmy, I'm sorry.
Jimmy. Yeah.
I just big time Jimmy. Fuck.
Yeah, a bunch of people were tagging him like, hey, you should get Jimmy. You should get Jimmy. Get Jimmy on the show. I'm sure maybe he knows of us. Obviously, he follows us all.
Jimmy, I publicly apologize for big time. I'm a dick. I just didn't know. I'm like, I didn't notice I had so many followers, and oh my god, fucking, what an asshole.
I need a filter for just the verified ones,
dude. Just take my blue check mark.
But I'm not verified.
It's gone to my head. Oh, my blue check mark gets taken away tomorrow. I'm so sad.
Oh no!
You gotta pay for it. You gotta pay for it.
I'm paying for it. I'm gonna be one of the. I'm supporting Elon in his. Plus,
I would now actually, but
I would pay
it's
for
not
it,
available for Europe yet.
It's not.
No,
you get the long form videos. It's worth it just for that.
I can't. I literally can't do it. It's not available for me.
VPN.
I should get one.
Yeah.
But guys, it is after 2 hours. It's 3 a.m. I am tired, so I'm gonna go to sleep.
Go to sleep, brother. We're wrapping things up, but I'm gonna read a couple more. But you plug whatever you need to plug. Thanks for hanging this long, buddy, and thanks for
I love talking about this shit. I love being a part of the show. I really appreciate you introducing me to these awesome guys and having me on to talk about it all. Tomorrow is Base Staff Monday. I return. I took the week off to handle some stuff and also see some sunshine. It was very nice. I hadn't seen the sun in a month, and I was kind of going crazy. So I made a point of going to sleep and waking up so I could see the sunshine. I know it sounds crazy,
I think,
but I switched my whole lifestyle around so I can continue doing my show at the same time, and I needed a break. and it was the first time I took a break for me since I started my show, instead of being cut off from getting a strike or whatnot. But Base Staff is tomorrow. Garrett's on with me, Andreas Exertus, Darth Call, Flawedzilla, and George the Giant Slayer, the one and only
George.
and it is awesome. Great time. We have a lot of fun. We laugh a lot, and so come check it out. And I'm on Rumble and on YouTube, The Crigler Show. It's easy to find. You can also order my coffee, criglercoffee.com. Only available in America, which is funny because I don't even get to drink my own coffee. It's too expensive to ship to me. So for those who are international or like really sad they can't drink my coffee, I feel your pain. Actually, I know it even worse because I've actually tasted the deliciousness of my coffee, and now I don't have it.
It's right there at your fingertips, but
yeah. Eric K is a boss. Thank you for shouting all our stuff out in the comments. You're the man. I appreciate you. All right, guys. I'll see you next time.
Take care, brother.
Tomorrow, bro.
All right, later.
Thanks, Adam. Adam. Oh shit.
What a bro.
What a bro. And I hit the wrong fucking boomer. God, I hate to say I need X-ray girl. It makes me feel weak. I need X-ray girl. So we're gonna run through these soups. Are you okay, Garrett, for a little bit?
I'm good.
Yeah. We'll be done in like 10, 20 minutes. I'm good through these. James Knoll, something I would like Graham to explore is how folks in Turkey would have survived underground, considering later they spoke about meteors striking for weeks. I imagine that winter was lengthy. How would you get food? They had stables in those tunnels. They had stables for animals. So he does talk about it a little bit, but go read his book, James, if you haven't. Fingerprints of the Gods and Magicians of the Gods. He goes into it in detail. Those books, they're great audiobooks too, if you just want to do the audiobook thing.
Yeah, I believe he narrates them too. So
yes, he does.
They're really good.
Second one. I don't know about the first one.
I think I'll have to check, but I think he does.
Some of Randall's earlier stuff had him talking about fishermen pulling up these special European style arrowheads off Chesapeake Bay, 60 to 70 miles offshore. Holy shit. That's Crash.
I want to see that.
For $10. I got to listen to that. Absolutely. Got to listen to that. James Knoll for $10. There are some unique structures underwater between India and Sri Lanka. Yes, there are. Origins in Hinduism say that these lakes of life, and these are the lakes of life and death in North India too, all ancient or worth exploring. Yes, James. I think India probably even better than China has a deep recorded mythology and history that we in the West have ignored way too much. Like
I would really like for him in the second season to go into India and go into those the mythos there and the structures that they have built there, because there's tons of stuff there. Like the architecture there is insane. Michael
Cremo, he gets a little weird, but I like Michael Cremo, and they had him talk at Stanford once. So he does the out of place artifacts. He has a great book, a classic book from the Art Bell days called Forbidden Archaeology. It is a tome. It is fucking thick. But there's an audiobook of that. Highly recommend it. But he's like, mankind isn't 300,000 years old. Mankind is millions of years old. That's his belief. And he as a youngster, he grew up in India and learned. He's part of their religion now. Like, he joined the religion, and he's a scholar in that aspect, and he treats their mythology as history. Again, not the best speaker in the world, but the information's interesting enough. But he's like a really soft smoking guy. Us in the Old Man's Club welcome youngsters like you, Gary B. Buster, for $5. I love being called a youngster. You know, that's originally why I grew my beard. Quarter Black, when I started growing my beard when I was like 32, because I got tired of, because I was a young looking 30.
You're always he's the young guy.
Hey, youngster. I'm like, dude, I'm older than you. Shut up. So I got tired of vapor trails for $4.99. I don't know what I haven't shaved my beard in so long. I don't know what the fuck I could look like.
Who knows what's under there?
Under this shit. Maybe I do now. Vapor trails for $4.99. The lion striking down the serpent, casting it down from the sky. Well, in Leo, that must have mean they must have been in Leo, and that's where the comet came from. It was during because we're in the age of Aquarius. It was the age of Leo, right? Before then. At the time, yeah. The Graham Society for America Archaeology letter says Matthew Hammond for $2. What is that? Other than we should write a letter to them mentioning Graham Handcock and pissing him off. That'd be funny. The Ruins of Old Earth by Gary. Search The Ruins of Old Earth by Gary Shunung. Oh, that's another theory I have. Is Earth is just. I think many civilizations have risen and fallen.
Yeah, I think it's a high possibility that has happened multiple times, and the Egyptians said that. That's what they said.
Yes, yeah, their kingdom. Well, they have records of kings going all the way back to the first time, right? So, of course, the archaeologists like it doesn't fit in our narrative. They must have just made all that shit up. Like what a
I wish we still had the Library of Alexandria. Like there's these libraries in Tibet that have only been only 5% of the books that they have or the scrolls have been read or translated. I'm like, what could be in those? Like, who knows?
You know why people like Michio Kaku? Because he's not a dick. He's a scientist. He's an academic, but he never when he talks about
that's true.
It's a possibility. You know, you could tell I'm not really buying it, but I'm not going to say it's impossible. You know, that's
what I do like about him is that he kind of seems level-headed about it.
Genial guy. You know, we like that.
Not an asshole.
Not a dick. We don't like dicks. Had to send my super chat through Streamlabs because it was centered out in the Thought Police, Elon by YouTube. Oh, I'll go over there. I didn't put the link in, did I? I did. I didn't even think. Oh shit. Hold the fort for a second. I got to open up another window.
Send me the link. I get it. I'm bringing it up.
Well, I gotta look up the Streamlabs.
Oh, you got to find it.
Yeah, because I purposely didn't put a link in because I was like, well, just try to keep it simple.
We'll hold it down. It's okay.
I got no X-ray girl, man.
So, Ruins of the Old Earth. I'm gonna find this book. I'm gonna read it.
Shit.
I'm trying to find a link to it. It looks like there's a lot of playlists, and it's kind of going over a lot of the things we were talking about with the mounds all across the globe, with the pyramids. Yeah, I want to watch this. I'm gonna save this for later.
Yeah, send it to me. Okay, I'm logged in now. It took me a minute. I switched browsers, folks. I don't use Chrome anymore.
Chrome got infected.
Yeah, Chrome. I got some weird malware in my fucking Chrome, and I couldn't get rid of it. So I'm like, I don't need to use Chrome anymore. Fuck it. I just didn't. I just stopped using it. I'm sure we can fix it later, but it's not anything I'm too worried about.
Gary, you got to talk about the cocaine mummies. What is it?
Oh yeah, there's cocaine. The mummies with cocaine from Egypt. Yeah,
cocaine mummies.
Yeah. So cocaine is from South America, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
But they found cocaine in traces of cocaine in some mummies from Egypt. Yes.
That's got to be like the Silk Road, right? Like moving all of the huge.
If you told me ancient America, it's like we found this shit called cocaine, we need to get this around the world. We would do it. Okay, I believe in humanity enough to be able to make a reed boat to ship their cocaine to Egypt.
Yeah,
I absolutely do. No, there was a mother civilization, and they probably invented cocaine. What's the date today? It's the 11th. Holy shit, we got a bunch of them. Okay, WG for $200 says, God dang it, WG. Merry Christmas, Gary. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
How many scientists disregard Randall and Graham because the religious text they disparage for their entire lives might be proven true. I think many, but
I think that's why they're fighting against.
To the credit of the scientists who are working with Graham and Randall, you're our heroes, because you're facing backlash from the academics. You're getting defunded. They're getting funded now, which is a good thing, and they stuck with it. So, thank you. Thank you. Sincerely, thank you. I don't mean to trash all of science. I know there's a bunch of people helping Graham and Randall right now that are good people that just want, I think they
want to find out the truth, and that should be the purpose of scientists,
right? Isn't it? It's like, to find the truth, and like this is a major discovery. You think everybody would be stoked? They're like, we got something to do forever. We have job security, and no, they're like, nope, I don't want to work. And that's I hate to say it, especially in academia, that's the fucking baseline of a lot of motherfuckers. Is like the only, especially state funded workers. All right. There a lot of baseline is like there's no motivation there. That's why you got to work in the private sector. Having your ass on the line motivates you. Grizzly for $10 says Razorfist covered this on his Friday live stream. The new atheist left rational crowd is just as fervent as any wingnut evangelical group. The new left that worships science doesn't fundamentally believe in the scientific method. It's a new wave cult. Razorfist should have 1 million subs. Let's be real.
Yeah, why is he not?
He gets like that dude is being shadow banned, suppressed everywhere. He goes, but because he's one of the best political commentators we have. Period. Love that guy. Have you ever listened to the Sasquatch Chronicles? Just caught a few episodes, but episode 715 is worth listening to if you get a chance. I have listened to some WG, and I will listen at 715. Thank you for the $50. Awesome. So we're all caught up on those. So Grizzly, sorry, thank you. Crenshaw, foul for $5. Do you know that Jonathan Swift, who wrote Gulliver's Travels, wrote accurately about the moons of Mars before they were discovered? I didn't know that.
No,
I didn't know that. That's crazy. Maybe he knew something. So there's so much lost knowledge, or maybe he guessed good. I don't know. I don't know. Crash 6674. Also, coast of Europe will be completely changed as well. Doggerland, of course, Doggerland. If everything was fucked up, like 90% of the people would have been wiped out. Not to mention, if Azores were much larger populated, they would have been towards the coasts. That's what Randall mentions. Most people live towards the coasts or by waterways. And if the population was much smaller back then, big meteor shower Tuesday night, says Mountain Pass Music for $2. Yeah. We're not in what was the name of the asteroid? Tail.
The one that just went past?
The one that is the most dangerous. We go by it twice a year. Once in June and once in late October.
I can hear Graham saying it in my head.
I can hear it saying in my head too, but it is the not the Leonids, but it's something like that. I'll think of it.
It was right there.
It's an old comet, basically, that we go through the tail of.
Torrid stream.
Thank you. That was it.
Athena got it.
I wanted to say turds, but I knew that was wrong.
It's not turds, The Torrid media streams.
A few days ago, I heard Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes, and it was a coast-to-coast bumper, and it reminded me of Art. I miss him so much. It's great that 3 of my favorite YouTubers are talking about this sort of stuff. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So, like, I've tons of feedback about the show. This show was like, I've had a plan to do a show like this for a long time. It just needed the right thing, and Ancient Apocalypse was the right thing to start it. Now, we haven't thought of a name yet. We're still working on that.
Still workshopping the ideas.
We're getting nowhere with it right now, to be honest with you. But we will eventually get to it. Sir Angus Fungus says, why does the moon have craters on the Earth side? Well, that's a good question. Why is Mars bombarded more on one side than the other? Much more bombarded. And there's a like a line on it's not at the equator, but it's a line, but it's the crust dipping down a mile. So you
on Mars?
On Mars, yeah, there's this big long mile long cliff, or maybe it's more than that.
It's a weird geological formation.
That's probably where the ocean was. That's what my guess is. That's where the ocean was. Earth was everything, then the solar system, then the universe, then the multiverse. Geology will discover the stuff will just keep getting older. The science is settled. My ass, the lock for 10 British pounds. Exactly.
Yep.
Grant was wearing that shirt that says things just keep getting older.
Yeah,
they do. I mean,
I like whenever they just say like the science is settled, like we keep saying, like,
but they
it's this date and that's it.
They started at Mesopotamia, Sumer and Mesopotamia. Like they got up one day, I'm going to make a ziggurat. All right. It's this like, it's not a pyramid. I made it up in my brain. I don't even know math. I don't know written language. I don't even know how to talk to you, but we're going to make a ziggurat. Let's do it. Get some blocks. I don't even know what a block is. I have to name a block.
We have to name it
before we come
up with the geometry, and we'll make it. Makes total sense, guys.
It does. This makes me want to hear a Chase by Giorgio Moroder. Oh yeah, dun, 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 from Midnight Run. Not Midnight Run. It's Midnight Express. If you know, you know. I don't know if you can play it, but you should. I wish I could, Vapor Trails. Yeah. Maybe like when we start doing the show and we put it on as a podcast. But I don't. That's arts.
Yeah,
that's arts.
Yeah, that's his thing.
That is arts. There's a story about Jacques Cousteau diving in. Says Craig Frigante for $1.99. No use for pants for $9.99. Thank you. I work right up from Twin Sisters Rocks on the Columbia River. If you go north and past the small town of Wallula, you will see the paper mill. They almost showed it when they did the shot of the river. I'll have to look. I'm sure Randall's done it. Like they've done tour videos, and I've watched them all. Those tours look fun.
Yeah, I would love to see all these things like up close in person. Like you could actually feel how large like seeing it in a picture is one thing, seeing it in a video mock-up is like one thing, but being on the ground and seeing the geology and like how large of a flood that will be, like that's got to be cool.
Gunslinger 177 says Adam is for $9.99. Adam is right. Manhattan pizza is only good when you're drunk and you're paying $1 for a slice. You have to go to Brooklyn to find a truly good sit-down pizza. There you go. Good to know. Magna Threda for $2. Search Nam Madal, city built with ancient coral. Yeah, Nam Madal is awesome, and they briefly talk about it in the special. But Nam Madal is insane. So it's spelled Nanmadol. Search it.
Manadol.
Madol. Nan Madal.
Nanmadol.
Ejecta. Sorry, folks. My bad, says Ruben Christopher Haynes. Make sure you go to Mellow Mushroom in Asheville, a decent pizza parlor. Okay. That's all it is, right? It's just pizzas. It's not like
Mellow Mushroom, yeah.
Mushrooms. $4.99, which I'm pretty sure are being very close, if not legal already. But I think you're pretty close to being able to buy your microdose at your fucking pot store.
I think I found it.
Check out the lakes of life and death, as well as the stones leading up to Sri Lanka and India. By the way, I am at $55 now. Dude, James, you're killing. Thank you. I can't afford. I read that one. It's good until Mrs. Flu finds out, says Toxic Man Flu for $2. Yeah. And she's going to read that statement. That's what those chicks do. They read the statements. Vapor trails, light bulb. What we need is new comic/movie franchise based on all this stuff. A replacement for Indiana Jones. If Rippa can do it, so can Gary.
That is a good idea. Doing an Indiana Jones type like adventure, discovering an old world like a city or something like that. They kind of did that in Uncharted. Some of the games they did like a few of those like undiscovered cities.
They could adapt to one of the indie books or one of the comics, you know, where they go to Atlanta. Like Atlantis would have been a really good one to do. You know, they're fucking dumb. Gary, you'd love Andreas and his knowledge, says Sledge. I probably would.
Yeah, I think you would.
Let's talk to him. Is MP KKKKK? Yeah, that's skit problematic in the U.S. Sir Angus Fungus. I don't know, man. Everything's problematic in my country, and I fucking hate that word. By the way, Davey Verse for $4.99. Hail guys! Saw media coverage over the show. Did a video defending the exchange of ideas, death, and enlightenment when authorities decided facts. All right, so you got that. You got something to look at?
Yeah, I think I got here this article here. Namadal, the city built on reefs.
Yeah.
Zoom in here. It's like this entire city. Goodness. There we go.
Yeah.
Here are the ruins of it.
These are the ruins of it, and they're in the middle of the water. So, like, they took... Those are natural forming. Those are just like the ones of the pyramid that we saw in Ancient Apocalypse.
Yeah, that first episode.
The question is, how in the fuck did they get him over the water? Because they had to break these things
off. How did they move them?
Yeah, and how did they move them? And the theories are that the people floated them over. Its place is dangerous too. But crazy.
Wow.
Look at that.
Look at that.
That's fucking insane. And again,
that's very similar to that first site.
Yeah.
That's exactly like how they built that.
These are 20,000 years old. These were around when Sunderland was around. That's the answer. That's your answer. End of story. The science is settled. I can say that. I settled it. Heroine of Alexandria for $20. Thank you, by the way. I hope you're doing well. There was a Bronze Age warm period too, called the Minoan warm period. A lot of people don't know about our little ice ages and warm periods. Merry Christmas to all three of you. Merry Christmas back at you. Yeah, there was a recent little ice age that, I mean, relatively just ended. It was the 1900s it ended, late 1800s, early 1900s it ended, technically. Have you looked up the archaeologist Dr. Jonathan Gray yet? I can email some of his books to you. Also, watch Mystery History on YouTube. They go into everything. Highly recommend. I will check it out. Mr. Wolverine 007 for $10. Thank you very much. And please email me. Yeah. Frater X for $19.99. Another guest would be Timothy Alberino, who knows a ton about South America. While biblical in lean, he can talk about the Chicanas, the tunnel system. That spreads many miles underground. I would definitely watch it. I don't mind Bible lean. I don't. It doesn't bother me.
Me neither.
I like truth. I like these things called truth. And if I get it from a Christian, great. If I get it from a Muslim, great. I don't give a shit. That I watch L.A. Marzulli, and he's like straight up. I think he's was a preacher. I get really? But like, yeah, I'm fine with it. I love this stuff. I think honestly, I would look more into the Bible lean than academia right now, because the Bible lean would be less dogmatic. That's what we are.
Funnily enough.
Yeah. Nickel Sai Krishna Banthala for 100, and it looks like I'm going to say Indian pesos. Okay. Sorry. Check out Single Stone Temple in India.
It's rupees.
It has a very trippy design. It was built from top down with a single stone. Also, check out Arc Reactor Temples. Will do. And thank you. India's fuck.
Yeah, India is a great, like the architecture there is insane, and they can't really explain it.
You know, they just look like an old civilization. That's what they look like.
Yeah.
A really, 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 really old civilization. Null Face for $4.99. Watch Japan tsunami footage. It's a laminar flow, uber destructive. Yeah, I've seen it. I've watched it. I watched the 2004 tsunami footage of is it Indonesia that happened? Christmas day, Boxing Day, and I watched everything go down in Japan. And that tsunami, yeah, that makes your butt pucker a little bit. Okay. It's like
that's possible. Oh shit.
Like it wipes everything off the face of the earth. Gary, big time blue check mark Beekler. That's what I want to be known for. Even though I did pay $8, I did. I don't care. I'll pay it again. Big time. Thanks, Eric K, for $2. And that's where we're going to end. If I missed any, and I probably did, I'm sorry. We'll get him on the square up. Oh, wow. Hang on. There's more. And then I really got to go. Dry Falls in Washington is pretty awesome. Look it up. Oh, dude, I've been there, and we just saw a picture. Like it's incredible. It's incredible. And again, just go to Cosmographia, and you can spend days on that channel listening to their live streams, going over their footage. It's good stuff. Thoughts on Great Tartaria? I don't have it. I don't have thoughts.
That's what we need Azertis for.
That one's like new for me. So, and I'm into this shit. So I'm gonna I got a blind.
It's pretty cool.
Obviously, I'm gonna check it out. Magician Sapphire for $5. I remember in the Bible, before the birth of Adam and Eve, it mentioned an ancient civilization existing and thriving. Many did, I believe. Society of America Archaeology. Thank you again, Magician Sapphire. Society for American Archaeology letter accused Graham Handcock of promoting racist theories. This was I emailed to you Saturday. Thank you, Matthew. Yes, and we did go over it on the last show.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole point of like everything we don't like is not Hitler anymore. You're just a racist. So that's what it's been. What did I tweeted today? Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Steve Rogers is Captain America. Sam Wilson's Falcon. And somebody put Gary's a white supremacist. I'm like, where do you get that from? The factual statements I just made?
It's in their head. They make all these things up in their head.
So this is why we have the problems we do. There's a bunch of small-minded fucks out there who are truly bigots, like true bigots, ideological bigots. Bigotry can go a lot of ways. Who have no ability because of their rearing. I don't know if these are adults, if they're children, but they just critical thought is gone. And anytime they are challenged, even slightly challenged, it's a personal attack. And that's where academia is feeling a little threatened, because they know damn well they have been suppressing evidence.
Yep.
Suppressing evidence, and it just builds up. You can get away with it for a while, but it just builds up over time until your house of cards falls down. And that's where we're at now. And Graham brings this up. I brought this up. Many have brought it up. Remember 2012? That was supposed to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
Many
the Mayan clock.
No, it was just a paradigm shift in our thinking. That's all it is. Is our thinking, how we go about things, is about to change, and it's going to take time. But that's when it started. And honestly, if you go back to 2012. When did all the woke shit start? When did all this cultural shit start?
Really early.
Then it was around then, and here we are trying to work our way out of it right now.
Interesting.
Could be a total coincidence. Jessica James, I swear if cocaine is what disproves mainstream history and science, then that right there is proof of the creator and proof that he has a sense of humor. Absolutely, James. That would be brilliant. Is the one thing that brings the academic world to its knees. Somebody found some cocaine in an Egyptian mummy.
Yep.
And then some of it disappeared. They found traces.
Man, could you imagine that?
Just disappeared.
I got this mummy cocaine, man.
On the Adam and Eve story, book the CIA took out of circulation and classified. I remember that. Breaks down same stuff 50 years ago. And that is from Crash 6674. I have watched every one of his videos, and I've seen that video. Yeah, and they talked about that on Art Bell. Like,
what was it?
It is a book about the Adam and Eve story that the CIA took out of circulation. True story.
What?
Yep. For whatever reason, they, we don't know why they did it, but they did it. SoFi, did I get your first super chat? I'll check. I'm pretty sure I did. I'll go check though.
I believe so.
Here we go. Boom, 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 boom.
I remember hearing SoFi, unless I'm mixing that up with another stream.
Nope, I missed it. Okay, SoFi.
I must be missing it.
On Netflix, on the episode about earthquakes, they mention tsunamis. Due to Japan's meticulous records, they realize one tsunami hit the U.S. I think ghost forests and tribe myth include a snake's mentioned. Yes, a tsunami did hit the U.S. in the 1700s from Japan. Yes.
Wow.
It did. And there are ghost forests. And they can still be seen today. Go look up the ghost forests, and there's tons of evidence that a giant tsunami hit. Yeah, if you go look at the the Channel Islands, Catalina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Catalina. Yeah.
There is a couple of them with massive tsunami. The little chevrons that Randall Carlson.
Yeah, that they make
massive chevrons. So it got hit. Yeah. Go check them out on the Google Earth. Thank you, SoFi. Sorry about that. Ruben Christopher Haynes. Atlantis sank into the earth when their CERN created a global apocalypse. Here we go again. What happened before will happen again. I believe in some of that too. That's why I think some of these out of place artifacts that they're finding in the middle of rock, there might be something to it. Because as time goes by, if especially the stuff we're making, plastic and metal and stuff, be gone. There'd be no sign of it. And then don't forget, there's always dust and dirt that builds up over time. Where I'm sitting right now. This was the bottom of an ocean for millions of years. Texas was the giant bottom of an ocean.
Yep.
And it's covered in limestone. What's limestone? It's dead sea creatures. That so many of them died over so many time, it just became rock. So, yeah, over time, a lot of crazy shit can happen, and we don't know how old we are. We don't know any of the answers, and I think that's good, and that's a good thing, because I don't know. I love a good mystery, and I think this is one of the best ones. So
it would be sad. It would be sad to know that you found everything out about the Earth and you have nothing else to investigate or explore. That would be very sad. And I don't think we're there.
Oh, we're not. So we're going to wrap things up, buddy. You can always go stream some more if you like, if you haven't streamed.
I am actually streaming.
Oh, shit, dude. What are you doing?
In an hour on Rumble, I'm playing Alien Isolation with my my locals peeps. So we're going to be playing over there. In an hour.
All right. I got to check with Adam when I'm going to talk to some people tomorrow. I got to check with Adam, like when our next show is. We might try to sneak one in before the holidays. And then like kind of get going regularly in January.
We got to find a name.
And we got to find a name. But yeah, because Untitled, Paranormal, Ancient, using Ancient Apocalypse all the time. But we're going to talk about this subject for a long, long time. But thanks for hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun. You guys are great. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the super chats and donation. Thank you to Eric K. Thank you to all the Modrotics out there. We appreciate you. And I'm gonna watch a Christmas movie.
What are you gonna watch?
I watched Scrooge last night. I think I'll
Okay.
watch Christmas Vacation tonight.
I watched Christmas Vacation 2 days ago, and then Grinch was last night. So maybe Scrooge tonight.
There you go. I can see like Grinch, like a real Christmas Carol, and Christmas Story. Like
Yep.
they have to be close. Miracle on 34th Street.
You save all those for closer to
closer to
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to work my way up. So
We do like Jack Frost, the one with like Michael Keaton. That's one of the earlier in the season movies. But yeah, like Christmas Carol, Christmas Story, Rudolph, like right on.
Rudolph.
Die Hard, you got to wait till closer to Christmas.
What about the year without a Christmas? The year, with the Heat Miser and the Cold Miser.
Yeah, it's like a whole set.
Yeah.
You get the whole DVD and it's got all of them.
Yeah. I won't forget Gremlins. Die Hard is
Gremlins.
Christmas Eve. Like we watch Die Hard on Christmas Eve. That is straight up what we do. Batman Returns. Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands is technically yeah. I guess I never thought of it that way.
You could throw in a Shane Black movie.
Just any of them
because they're all around Christmas. So yeah.
I'm sure Predator takes place during Christmas. It's just in the jungle. He wrote it, so
yeah. The Predator. Bad Santa. Yeah, I watch Bad Santa. Hell yeah. Lethal Weapon. Yes, got to watch Lethal Weapon. Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh yeah, Lethal Weapon. I never think about Lethal Weapon, but yeah, it's totally a Christmas movie.
Scrooged is fantastic. I just watched it last night with my kid. My kid had never seen it. We had a good time. Love that. Love that movie.
Love Scrooged.
It's good stuff. All right. Until next time, everyone. Stay weird.